stabbed him multiple times. A judge ruled this week Green will be tried as an adult, saying he's been offered treatment for mental health and substance abuse and refused. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken 5-1. Jack Hughes, who scored the winning goal for Team USA, he'll be in St. Louis tomorrow when the Blues play the Devils. Sunday, Blues play the Wild. Tonight, Illinois faces number 3 Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Mizzou plays Mississippi State. SLU takes on Duquesne. City SC's next match coming up on Sunday. All right, 37 degrees now, 5:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. All right, welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show as Mr. Marc Cox himself is walking into the studio.
He's getting here.
Yep, there we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Marc Cox.
Working hard for the people is what I'm doing. I'm in there at my desk slaving away. I got Ethan's in there yelling at me, hey, your show's starting. I'm like, how did that happen?
They'll wait.
What's that?
Said they'll wait. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Welcome in. It's a Friday morning. Of course, I walk in and have technical difficulties as usual. I love that. I just love that, the technology challenges sometimes. I didn't change anything on my laptop, but for some reason, it would not let me record anything again this morning. And took a little bit of detective work to figure out why that was. And that put me behind the 8 ball. It did. So that's why I was late. I apologize for that. And good morning to all of you. I don't know what's wrong with my camera here. Why do people mess with this camera all the time? All right. You'd think I wasn't the only one using this microphone. It's very strange. Who's here in the afternoon? Who's in this spot? Because Reardon runs his own
over
microphone,
there,
right?
And then I think Hannaford.
Oh,
The other
okay.
Ethan maybe sometimes.
I'll get on Ethan about that then. What's he thinking about? Hey, who's in the news the most this morning? Hillary Clinton. Isn't that great? Look at that. She had to testify yesterday. We're going to talk a lot about this morning. I got some great stuff for you. I just got to tell you. I am watching this and having flashbacks to the Rose Law Firm billing records from 1993. Long before Kim St. had joined us on this earth. I was
1993.
No, wait a minute. How old were you?
I was like 4.
Oh, I was close. When you were still
Say long
young.
before.
When you was a youngin', Hillary Clinton and Rush Limbaugh used to have the best parodies on Hillary Clinton, and I wish I could find. I've searched for them occasionally. Some of the songs he had made up about her that were just classic, like my brain is made of Jell-O and things like that. When they'd haul her up, asking her where these Rose Law Firm billing records were, because that's the law firm she worked for, and they were investigating fraud and all of this stuff and Whitewater. And Hillary just suddenly, even the young Hillary, the one we know with the Southern accent from Arkansas, she suddenly couldn't remember anything. She had total lack of recall as how old was she then? She would have been probably in her 40s, maybe? Yeah, it was probably 40 years ago. How old is she now? 80? Yeah. She had no ability to remember anything she had done or talked about as an attorney just a few years earlier down in Arkansas. And it was pretty hilarious to watch. So when I see her come out yesterday and claim that, I didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. I never met Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was just an acquaintance, even though she was at her daughter's wedding. Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding, and Bill Clinton, this is the greatest thing of all. The pictures of Bill Clinton, they showed her pictures of Bill Clinton soaking in a hot tub with a very young-looking woman next to him whose face they blacked out. And Hillary just wasn't concerned.
Well, do we know which lawmaker it was who leaked the picture to Benny Johnson that then caused Clinton's staffer to say, all right, we're done with this hearing?
I do. I do know I do know which lawmaker it was, but it's not coming to my brain right now. I printed that story out. I've got it in my stack of stuff this morning because it was a she. Who was it?
I don't know, but her nameplate was in the picture.
She was very defensive of her ability.
Oh, Lauren Boebert.
Boebert.
Yeah,
It was
Boebert.
Boebert.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
remember.
Wow,
I
okay.
got that printed out here somewhere this morning. Boebert is the one that leaked it out. Who didn't appreciate when they leaked video of her in a movie theater one time, if I remember correctly. I'm not quite sure why she would want to be the one that did that. That did not reflect very well on her character back in the day, did it? I saw her when I was in Washington, by the way. Not too up close from a distance, but she was wearing. You could see her down on the floor. She was wearing a bright red sleeveless dress on the floor.
Did she have her hands to herself while she was in the State
I was
of the Union?
I was looking. There was a dude sitting next to her, but he did not appear to be ruffled by the whole thing. So I'm guessing there were no hands on going on there. I don't know. I don't know Boebert very well. I haven't heard much from her, quite frankly, since all that happened. And anyway, she's the one that apparently leaked the picture of Hillary. Now, here's the funny thing about it: they're going to release the transcript. And Hillary Clinton herself wanted the whole thing to be public. Like, she's not the one that asked for it to be behind closed doors, apparently. And she claimed that it was just the Republicans that did that because they were embarrassed by what they were doing. Well, I'll remind everyone, because Jamie Comer will do it for me if I don't, that the subpoenas for the Clintons were bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans on that committee both voted to bring in Bill and Hillary Clinton and talk to them. It was bipartisan. So it's not just James Comer that did it, and they knew they were about to be held in contempt. I'm completely convinced they knew they were about to be held in contempt. And so there's a reason Hillary Clinton finally came and agreed to talk. Now, why they had to go to her, I don't know. Why didn't they make her come to Washington? Why did they do that in Chappaqua or wherever it was up north? All the reporters had to stand outside and freeze in the snow because Hillary didn't want to drive to Washington, D.C. There was a time
she not surprised. She wouldn't even do the first one.
There was a time when she really, really wanted to live in Washington, D.C., but I guess not anymore.
I guess she knew there'd be, more press or just more people that she'd have to answer to had she gone to D.C. And, I mean, remember, they were trying to hold her in contempt because she was refusing to testify.
Right.
So they had to basically drag her kicking and screaming to do even this one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a mystery to me for sure. Let me see here. Let's see. A little behind the radio thing here. Let me give Ethan my list of things for our top stories this morning. As you can imagine, Hillary's on there. So let's go ahead and get to our top stories right now, please.
I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. Yeah,
she did her very best to respond.
Don't tell me what to say.
Yeah, thank you very much. It
was the worst person in the world.
They're gonna release the transcript at some point. Comer says you're going to be a little surprised by some of her answers.
Having her there almost betrays what this has really been about for certainly the Republicans on the Hill, and the argument can be made for Donald Trump's Department of Justice, and that is making this a political exercise.
Jonathan Lemire there on MS Now or BS Now, whatever you want to call it, unhappy with Hillary being called up. There's no reason for it. There was no evidence she knew him. Well, she knew the man who knows everything, and that's the guy who's going to testify today. His name is William Jefferson Clinton.
I can't imagine having the FBI listen in on a true attorney-client communication, but to do so without informing my client, there's no circumstance I could imagine where that would be justified or considered ethical.
Yeah, evidence out now that apparently there was targeting of Susie Wiles' phone during this Jack Smith investigation. This thing is getting uglier and uglier, where apparently surveillance was taking place improperly, and I really hope this blows up.
A budget battle brewing between the St. Louis mayor and the State Board of Police Commissioners. As we first told you last night, a new plan would increase funding for police by $50 million. The mayor says that may kill city jobs and services.
Yes, this is what I voted for. This is what has to happen in the city of St. Louis, where any planned decrease in a planned increase is considered a cut. Remember the warped world of government budgeting, Kim. If you're supposed to get a 10% increase in your budget the next year and it gets reduced to 5%, you can go in front of a TV camera and claim your budget is being cut. Before the money's ever spent, before anything else happens for the next year, a decrease in a planned increase is considered a cut, as opposed to saying you had $30 million in your budget this year. Next year, you're going to have 25. That's a cut. That is a cut. But if you were going to have 35 in your budget next year, we're only going to give you 33, but you had 30 this year, you're still getting more money than you got the year before.
That's good math, Mark.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
It's ridiculous when they sit there and complain about it. I'm like, you're still getting more money than you had the other year.
What Kara Spencer and the libs, the progressive libs in the city don't want to do is have to cut into any of their precious social programs, which have in part torn this city apart and driven people out of town. Look at the schools. Awful. Look at the streets. Largely not great. Potholes everywhere. And look at the police department. Understaffed, underfunded, underbudgeted on purpose. So they have successfully defunded the police in the city of St. Louis. And now that the state has control of it, they're saying, we're about to remedy that. And oh, are they screaming bloody murder over it. We'll talk about it a little more this morning, so be sure and stay tuned for that. We're also going to talk a little bit later about the situation with the illegal alien in Baldwin who's being deported. That story caught my attention. We're going to have an immigration attorney on this morning, somebody who practiced immigration law for many years, to talk about why there's no there. The TV wants to make this an emotional issue, and it's not an emotional issue. It's the law. You may not like the law, but there's no getting around the fact that it's not cruel or unusual punishment what's going on with this gentleman from Baldwin. I'll play you part of the story coming up a little later, but we're going to get to all that for you right now. Let's get to our national anthem.
We look good on the roads this morning. Good morning to you. And that includes eastbound 70 out at Wright City in the construction zone. Off to a good start here this morning. Quiet from North County down into Jeffco. 44 looks good from out west into downtown. We're quiet on the Illinois side and look good on the bridges downtown. Off to a good start. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, if you're out there hard at work already this morning, God bless you. You're a great American. You're great patriots already out there and driving around in your trucks getting ready to go to work. Now, I use my truck differently. I tow my camper with it, but I have to have a truck. And when I bought it, I bought a diesel on purpose so that I would have that dependability and the functionality of it. But when you need to get it serviced, where do you go? And I'm going to recommend the Shelton Automotive Group. If you've never heard of them, you're not alone. They don't have a big acreage on the highway, the frontage property. You have to drive to get there, and it's out near Warrenton. It's just off the interstate, and it's a great, well-kept secret if you are a truck driver and you drive a medium or light-duty diesel truck. If you drive a work truck and you need to get it worked on, they do great service at Shelton. You don't have to wait 2 months to get it done. So reach out to them. Tell Grant Shelton you heard me talking about it, and you want to get your truck in to get it taken care of. They can, doesn't matter, Power Stroke, Duramax, Cummins, Ford, Chevy, Ram, they can work on all of them. And they also sell work trucks. Pre-owned work trucks that they bring in there with the flatbeds and all that. You can see their inventory right online. Call them at 314-202-4060. Tell them Marc Cox tipped you off about Shelton Automotive Group. Maybe I'll see you out there, or you can check them out online at sheltonautogroup.com. All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show on a Friday, where I'm still trying to get my crap together at 5:23 in the morning. Was trying to play some sound there for you, one of my favorite drops, and I told Ethan going into that break, hey, turn my computer down just in case something over here is auto playing, which of course happens far too often. So I apologize for that. It's almost like I'm back in Washington, D.C., where I can't remember to turn a mic on. Isn't it? It's the weirdest thing in the world, for sure.
If you're feeding a person a crap sandwich with a smile, it's still a crap sandwich.
All right, so I just found out about this yesterday, I think. I guess it happened a couple of days ago, maybe when I was in D.C. I saw Kat Kamik while I was there. She's that great state representative from the state of Florida. She's loud and proud, and she gets in their faces, and I'm sure she's made her an enemies list there in D.C. somewhere. But we've had her on the show a few times over the years. She sponsored a bill, Kim, called the Riley-Gaines Act. And the Riley-Gaines Act is pretty simple. It would allow female NCAA athletes who were forced to compete in sports where men were allowed to participate. It would allow the female athletes to sue over that. And I think that's fantastic. The female athletes will be able to sue the institutions that choose to permit transgender athletes to compete in women's only sports. Of course, it's named after Riley Gaines, who is a Division I swimmer and is now well known conservatively as a conservative political activist around the nation. She's known nationally for that now. I've seen her anchoring on Fox occasionally. And I have not seen Riley Gaines speak out on this, but I can't imagine she's not thrilled because she's been fighting so hard for it.
That's kind of crazy that you can't sue as of now.
Right. Well,
I would think you could. I mean, the Trump administration's really been cracking down on this and saying not okay.
Have you ever heard of this awful person? And I get back to my favorite acronym, angry white liberal female. Angry white female liberal, I'm sorry, awful, named Jennifer Welch. I don't think so. I've seen her before because of something else outrageous she said. And I'm watching her interview this morning. They're interviewing her on, she's an atheist, I've discovered, and a hard left Democrat podcaster. That's what she does. And that's what she's known for. And if you do a podcast, you can say anything you want. You're not ruled in any way, shape, or form by the Federal Communication Commission's rules against dropping F-bombs and anything else that's on your mind. And listening to her, you want to take a cotton swab and clean your ears out afterwards because, like every other word, is some kind of a cuss word. In many cases, cuss words she's made up. And she hates Christians and she hates conservatives. And she's an atheist. But because this Riley Gaines Act got introduced here regarding transgender people, this is what Jennifer Welch said yesterday. And one reason I'm running late to the studio, because I had to find one section where I only had to bleep one word instead of 15.
Wow.
It was that bad. Listen.
And it's just this knee-jerk, faux Christianity that is this, centimeter deep only. And when I see the Riley Gaines of the world, and it's always looped into like her biblical worldview and all of this.
Biblical worldview.
I think you are a walking, talking advertisement on why not to be a Christian.
Yes.
What's her reasoning for that? Why?
Because
Riley,
if she was truly a Christian,
she would allow men to play with women.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she would have empathy. And because she doesn't have empathy in the view of Jennifer Welch, she's not a Christian because she doesn't have empathy on the fact that if somebody wakes up in the morning feeling like a German Shepherd, you should let them compete in the Westminster Dog Show.
Mark,
it's that kind of.
Actually, that's a fantastic idea.
Honestly,
I would watch that. I really would. A bunch of furries running around having to jump over hoops.
Why not?
Heel,
it's how they identify,
sit.
Right?
They'd have to pick up their hands and get their paws examined.
We joke about that, but I swear to God, there's probably somebody in training for it right now, somewhere in the world. Who knows? What seemed impossible 20 years ago happens every day now, it seems like. We'll be back with Kim on a Whim. Stay tuned.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, there's an update on prices at the wholesale level before they reach consumers. The Producer Price Index for January is expected to reveal a 0.3% increase, which would be an improvement from December. D.R. Barton of Woodshaw Financial Group says despite this week's dramatically better than expected earnings from AI chipmaker NVIDIA, investors are still pulling back from tech leaders.
The Mag 7 has gotten out a little ahead of their skis, I think, if you would use a sports analogy here. Again, they've done well, but the equal weight indexes have been outperforming over the past several months.
Also today, the Institute for Supply Management releases its Chicago Business Barometer for this month. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
If you're over 40 and plan to retire someday, the window to protect what you've built may be smaller than you realize. As retirement moves from someday to on the horizon, protecting what you've built becomes just as important as growing it. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. They help investors reduce risk by adding gold and silver to their portfolios. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making investment decisions.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, it is quiet on the roads at this hour. That's obviously good news. So while that's happening, let me mention some serious road work for tonight. Tonight from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. tomorrow, crews are going to completely close southbound 55 at Route M. So that is again tonight, 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Southbound 55 will be closed at M, and there will be a detour in place. So if you are driving home late tonight, just bear that in mind. We look good at this hour. I will keep you posted if something comes up. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Spring is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated TimberTech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
If you do have a leaky basement, I was watching some video the other day on the Home Shield Foundation, or the Home Shield Foundation Repair website there, homeshieldfoundationrepair.com. You can see what they do to fix houses that are leaking. And maybe you don't really have any idea. It's not like they've got to break up every piece of concrete in your basement. It can be something simple. You might have a crack in the concrete wall, which is apparently normal when concrete settles. What's not normal is for water to leak through it. And they can go in and use an epoxy resin mixture to seal that up so that you don't have that problem anymore. It can be that simple. It can be more complicated. Maybe you need to have a sump pump put in if you don't have one. There can be lots of different answers, but you're not going to know till you make the phone call, and you can't live with the water in your basement. So reach out to Matt Hayes. Let him know I sent you over there, 314-271-9900. They'll come out. They'll give you an honest estimate and opinion on what's going on. And if they do the work, you're going to get a lifetime guarantee, a lifetime warranty that your basement's going to stay dry. Or they'll come out and they'll fix it. How about that? Reach out to them. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Where common sense rules the mic. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
I would think by now there's a good chance you saw this viral video of a trucker driving the wrong way down Highway 61 in Lincoln County.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, it's all over social media. Look at it this morning if you've not yet seen it. We've learned some very interesting information about the driver. Listen to part of Fox 2's report on this story.
That the driver was unable to complete the English proficiency test.
They say he couldn't comprehend road signs. The driver was cited for wrong-way driving and careless driving. The Lincoln County prosecutor says that's all he can do locally, but he's notified the U.S. Department of Transportation and ICE because officials say the driver, speaking through broken English, couldn't identify a place of residence. So how did he get his commercial driver's license?
In Missouri, they have to be able to understand English, take the test in English.
That's Missouri, but the driver's license out of Minnesota, and his company, Cargo Transportation LLC, is based in Hopkins, Minnesota.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
We called, but no one answered.
Guess what? He's a Somali truck driver.
Yes, I heard
from
that.
Minnesota, who couldn't understand English, is driving the wrong way down Highway 61. These are the people who are probably connected to all the fraudulent businesses out of Minnesota, because you just heard the reporter there saying we called the company that he was associated with and no answer. Now, obviously, it's not good PR, so they're not wanting to probably deal with this. But still, my point is, the fraud and it is so much bigger than we could possibly imagine. And this is why it's so important that we require people to be able to do the test, the CDL test, in English. The Trump administration got a lot of pushback from that when they emphasized the importance of that. But you don't think that's important? Well, this is what you're going to deal with. People who are driving, I don't know what the speed limit is there, 60 on Highway 61?
Oh.
So 60, 65, maybe 70 miles an hour.
You're going to get run over if you only drive 60 on Highway 61.
Okay, so let's just say you're driving 70 miles an hour. You can't even read the road signs?
It's amazing that nobody was killed. I looked at that video yesterday and I'm like, he just kept going and going. And you know, how many times, I don't know about you, there have been times when on my drive in here in the morning, I've encountered a driver weaving and you can tell there's something wrong with that individual. And when you call 911, first of all, you have to get to the right agency to let the highway patrol or whatever jurisdiction you're in know, I think there's a drunk driver out here on Highway 40. I just passed X road, whatever it is. You need to get somebody to get out here to arrest this guy before it's too late. There's a lag in that reaction time naturally. Sometimes you never know if they showed up to look for the person or not. In this case, doing 60 miles an hour, he might have traveled another 20 miles before anybody saw him going the wrong way on that highway.
Well, and he crossed over and eventually started going the correct way, but people were following him because they were so concerned, because this isn't like a pickup truck. We're talking about, it was an 18-wheeler.
Well, Sean Duffy said, it's illegal. You have to be able to speak English. You have to have English proficiency. By the way, Kim, did you know, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm friends with Sean Duffy. Did you see that?
Oh,
we're buddies now. I got a picture with him when I was in Washington. Anyway, I'm sorry for name dropping.
Sorry, not sorry.
They did go to a local trucking company. I watched the story on Channel 2, and the local guy said, we do require our drivers to be English language proficient. But the problem was he didn't get a CDL in Missouri. He got it in Minnesota. Where even if they had that requirement, somebody somewhere looked the other way or had somebody else come in and take the test for him.
Well, maybe it's all tangled up with the fraud. Somebody who was doing this guy a favor, because in any state in the United States, how could you possibly get your CDL without being able to read a basic road sign? I mean, seriously, I could understand if maybe your English isn't 100%. Like, there's other things I could, okay, yeah, I could see why someone might say, all right, you're good enough. But if you can't even read a basic road sign, how would anybody in their right mind, unless they're not in on this, allow somebody to pass and give them their license?
Could it be possible he had a fake ID, though?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
would it make more sense that that
wouldn't
happened?
someone? So this might be a silly question, but let me just ask it because I truly don't know. So when I went to get my driver's license at 16, obviously you do the written exam, but then you also have to go out with someone, and they're watching you and make sure you do the STOP thing.
They do that for CDL license too. Yes.
But how would they not, if they are doing that and there's someone sitting in the truck with them, how would they not realize? They just realize, oh, that's a stop sign. You know what I mean? How are they not picking up on the fact that they can't read road signs?
It's got to be fraudulent.
That's what I'm thinking.
It has to be fraudulent. And that's the maddening part about it. I was driving the other day. I was driving down the highway, and I looked over in a truck, and I was judging. Because I'd seen the guy make a lane change without any signal, and he was driving too fast for conditions, and because I know this happens, a thought went through my mind. I wonder where this guy's from, because you can't tell by looking at the license on the trailer, because the trailers could be hauled from all over the country. You have to know something about. That still doesn't tell you where the driver was licensed. There's just no way to tell that based on the truck. Even if you see the name on the side of the truck, I don't think you can tell that. But I hope they crack down on this. And it gets to a bigger point. And a little later, we're going to talk more about this because we have an immigration attorney who's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. The resident from Baldwin who is being deported as an illegal alien, because apparently the Somali drivers now, ICE has gotten involved in this now too, because he might not be here legally, correct?
No.
No, didn't you? Wasn't that part of the story?
Yeah, I believe that is part of the story.
Part of the story is that
ICE has been notified.
ICE has been notified about this guy that they caught driving the wrong way on 61. And part of the problem is here, he didn't speak the language. Now, when I went to Ireland a few years ago, I was allowed with my U.S. driver's license to rent a car and drive across Ireland. Some of the road signs are in like Gaelic or whatever it is. You have no idea what it says. You do have your phone and your GPS still works over there to show you where you need to go. My guess is that's how these guys are getting away with that here.
Yeah, so again, it has to either be fraudulent stuff going on with the DMV, or like Ethan said, it was a fake ID. It was never an actual CDL, and his buddy in his basement just printed it up for him, and then he was somehow able to get a truck and start hauling stuff. Well, who knows what he was hauling, by the way.
But in Ireland, at least most of the signs were in English. In Germany, when I was over there this past year, that's not the case at all. There's no way in hell you could drive across Germany unless you had a road map with you, which they, I assume, still print, or your phone to tell you which exit to take.
Yeah, when I was in high school and I went to Germany, I remember seeing road signs, and I think they say it looks kind of like Aufahrt. It's like AUFAHRT, something like that. And I remember as like a 15 or 16-year-old thinking that was pretty funny, but it stuck with me. I'm pretty sure, someone correct me on this, I think that means exit in German.
Well.
Just in case you were wondering. The more you know.
The more you know. But I wonder if you can get a commercial driver's license in Europe if you don't speak the language.
I hope not.
You can pass.
You should be able to.
Yeah, but you can, over there, you can drive through any country without passing through security now, right? You can go from Austria to Germany to France. I mean, none of those places require you to stop. So unless you spoke all of those languages, what would you do? I'm asking questions. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so if you're a commercial truck driver, you're saying if you're going from country to country, which some of those countries are so small, it's like here in the States where it might take you a couple hours when you're in a different country. I mean, that's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
What do you do?
But I would imagine there's some proficiency requirement to be a driver. Maybe they don't allow that. But I can't imagine there's not interstate commerce going through the European Union. So maybe we can ask that question to somebody.
Well,
my other point was about the guy in Baldwin. Very specifically, it said in the story about him that when he made his comment in court to the judge after he was told he was being sent out of the country, he had to do it through an interpreter. Now, this is what pisses me off the most about this. Even if you break into our country and decide you want to live here and work and ship money back home, learn the language. Why could you imagine relocating to another country where they didn't speak English and not attempting to learn how to communicate with the people that live there? This guy's married to an American citizen and has 2 babies and can't speak English after he's been here illegally since 2012. Plenty of time to learn the language in that amount of time.
Yep.
Same with this truck driver.
But here's the problem, going back to the truck driver, they probably are working on the technology, if they don't already have it, where there would be a camera facing outward on your dash, and it would essentially translate in real time. It would pick up on a road sign and tell you what it's saying as you're driving up to it.
Maybe, but why would you need that if you have Google?
Because you're lazy as all get out, like this
if
clown.
If you have
who
Waze, you just change the language to Somali, and it would tell you in Somali where to turn. See my point?
Yeah, no, I guess, but I'm talking about that won't read every single sign, and every sign would be annoying.
Right.
So people on the text line, someone says, Kim, because people go and take the test for them.
Oh my gosh.
It's been found in California for that.
Mm-hmm.
I have my CDL Class A. Everything is in English. I did a 3-week class to get it. Nowadays, they get it in 3 days. Half the drivers out there can't speak or read English. It's easy to get, but now they hand them out like Skittles.
Wow. Thank you for that note. In the story Channel 2 did with the local truck driving company, their course takes 5 weeks. But he admitted that there's nothing in the law that sets a required amount of road time to get the CDL. You just have to have gone through the training and graduated. So at least they take 5 weeks to do it instead of 3 days.
I already don't like driving right up next to semis. This is more of a reason to stay the heck away from them because who's driving and do they even understand English?
It's a good question. All right. Now that we've solved the world's problems, we'll read you some of the comments from the text line this morning when we come back. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We look great on the roads at this hour. Quiet through North County. Now, there's a little bit of a delay on eastbound 70 east of Wright City in the construction zone, but then things open up and look fine. I mentioned this, but don't forget that tonight, starting at 11 p.m., and this will run until 5 a.m. tomorrow, southbound 55 will be completely closed at Highway M. Again, that's only southbound lanes, but there will be a detour in place. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Want a new home in Cottleville? Check out Cottleville Trails by McKelvey Homes. Take a golf cart or walk to downtown Cottleville. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today to learn more about the incredible homes in Cottleville Trails and move up to McKelvey.
Let's talk about your flooring for a minute. What are you thinking of doing next, right? That can have the wow factor when people walk into your house more than, I think, just about more than paint or anything else you can do in your house. New flooring can have a wow factor when people walk in the front door. So whatever you're thinking, let the people at Michael's give you their opinion on it. You're going to shop around. If you're a savvy consumer, I think you'll appreciate what Mike Reynolds has done here. He has cultivated an attitude within his company where when you walk in the door, they are concerned. They're asking you the right questions about what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you need some ideas, and they can show you what the trends are on the East Coast or the West Coast, if that's important to you. Maybe you already know what you want. We've done that several times at Michael's. We've gone in with an idea, particularly on the carpet and some runners. A runner we were going to put up our stairs at our old house, and they talked us out of that because of some of the wear patterns. They didn't think it was a good idea what we were trying to do, and I'm glad they did because they were absolutely right. So if you want great advice and great service, you want to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Mike Reynolds has got 3 great stores. The new one out in Darden Prairie off N. Of course, they're in Old Town St. Peter's up there near Mid-Rivers Mall and 70, and they're west of 270 on Olive. Or they'll come to you because they're going to make it easy for you. If you work long hours, they'll bring samples right to your house. Tell them Marc Cox sent you and go online to igotfloor.com.
It's fish fry season on the Mark Reardon Show, and we're inviting you to join us this week. We'll be in Cottleville, the Knights of Columbus. So if that's your neck of the woods, grab a meal and say hello. Fish Fry Fridays on the Mark Reardon Show, sponsored by Apache Village RV.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, some more wisdom here this morning coming in from the text line. I agree with this, and what this person has texted in here a couple minutes ago is, please let others know that aviation and trucking personnel have always been required to be proficient in English. The states issuing these CDLs are violating long-standing law. What if they certified pilots too? Could you imagine? I mean, seriously. Yeah, and that does mean exit, Kim. According to someone here, they're telling you that your German interpretation was correct.
Yeah, the German word for exit it looks like Ausfahrt. A-U-S-F-A.
Well, that's not what they typed here, but maybe they were driving when they don't do that. Don't type when you're driving.
A-U-S-F-A-H-R-T.
Okay.
Just so you guys know.
It does mean
so
exit.
At least if you're in Germany, and you can't read German, you'll know that word if you need to get off the interstate.
I'm sure that word will stick in your mind all day.
It has for about 20 years for me.
Arsfart? What is it?
I think that's how you pronounce
it. And if you do it with the German accent, it's
We're basically trilingual over here, Mark. Wow.
Oh my gosh. So, of course, we suck, as we were told this morning in several different text messages this morning. You guys suck. Same person is apparently upset over the Clintons being forced to testify, and yet mad that the sitting president of the United States has not been called in to testify. Accused me of protecting a pedophile. Isn't that nice? And wanted to know how many times Hillary's mentioned in the files that have been released. I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that.
Do we think anything will come out from Bill's testimony today?
No, but I think it's going to be far more interesting than Hillary's testimony.
Well, he can't get away with saying, oh, I don't know, I didn't really know him, because there's how many pictures of him with the ladies and with Epstein. So it's a little harder for him to deny direct contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
But here's the whole thing about it, is that whatever you know about Donald Trump prior to him becoming president, he's on his third marriage?
Is he?
I think so. Yeah.
I've lost track.
Well, I think Melania is his third wife. I could be wrong.
I know.
I
thought maybe a second.
He's married to Marla Maples, wasn't
Marla.
he? His first wife died recently after they were divorced, I think. Anyway, what you know about him is that he dated women. He did when he did. He that's a known fact. There's no doubt about that. I don't know with any ability to say one way or the other if he dated women while he was still married. I have no way of knowing. I don't know that, if that's true or not. Maybe it is. People do that. Bill Clinton is the biggest serial philanderer to ever hold the office of President of the United States. He was a serial philanderer. I've had Juanita Broderick on this show. She was one of his sexual assault victims, and she's been loud and proud about it. And there have been a number of others. Jennifer, what her last name's not coming to me. Jennifer Flowers, and a whole bunch of others that have written books and made. He's paid out NDAs to these women to keep them quiet over the years. But it's just well known. Jennifer Flowers is the one that said that when Bill Clinton was the governor of Arkansas, he would tell his staff he was going for a jog. And he would jog to McDonald's and get a Big Mac and then stop at Jennifer Flowers' apartment for sex before he'd go back to the governor's mansion. That's why the testimony today should be so interesting. You expect me to believe, and Hillary Clinton's defense of him is, my husband cut off his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein before charges were ever filed. Well, whatever Jeffrey Epstein was charged with happened before charges were filed too. Do not expect me to believe that a man that flew around the globe with Jeffrey Epstein 27 or 28 times and spent all that time around him, another guy who was a serial philanderer, didn't know what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. He was in a hot tub, for God's sake, with women that weren't his wife, young women. And they're going to put those pictures up today, and they're going to ask him some very uncomfortable questions. Who is the girl seated to your left? Where was this photo taken? Why did you think this was okay? What did you know about Jeffrey Epstein and underage women? It ought to be fascinating. This is the day where the testimony is going to be making some headlines. I think there's no doubt about that. The serial philanderer will be under oath in a deposition. That should be very interesting. All right, coming up, this was the week when candidates could file. We're going to talk to a man who wants to be the next St. Louis County executive coming up at about 6:20. Stay tuned.
Start your summer early at the St. Charles Boat Show, March 5th through 8th at the St. Charles Convention Center. The top marine dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks will be on site with the newest boats, personal watercraft, docks, and accessories. Step aboard, compare models, and find the perfect ride for your family. Special show pricing and experts ready to help make your boating dreams a reality. Visit LakeoftheOzarksBoatDealers.com for more information.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Greg and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Tons of sunshine with us on this Friday with a fast warm-up. It's a little chilly out the door this morning, but how about doing 69 in the afternoon? Tonight, clear skies, nice evening, 43 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny and nice, 65. Saturday night, partly cloudy, 32. Sunday, clouds with a mix of rain and some sloppy wet snow. It's colder Sunday and 42. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
First it was Hillary, Bill Clinton's next. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The former president will be questioned today under oath about the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. Hillary Clinton told the Republican-led House Oversight Committee she never met Epstein.
I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
Fox's Chad Pergram's in Chappaqua, New York, the Clintons' hometown, where these depositions are taking place.
The committee questioned how Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell used the connections to hide illegal activities. Jeffrey Epstein donated to the Clinton Foundation.
The former president appears in the Epstein files, and so does the current president.
Democrats believe that Bill Clinton's appearance could compel the committee to call President Trump.
Vice President Vance will meet today with Oman's foreign minister the day after he was the mediator in the latest round of U.S.-Iran talks. Iran's foreign minister says,
during these several long and very intensive hours, we made good progress and very seriously entered into the elements of a possible agreement, both in the nuclear field and in the area of sanctions.
President Trump's demanding Iran scale back its nuclear program, or he could take action like last year with a big U.S. military buildup in the region. Meanwhile, as Fox's Jonathan Savage reports, another conflict flares up between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Our patience has now run out, warns Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Mohammad Asif. The two sides have launched cross-border strikes, and Pakistan now considers the conflict open war. The ongoing dispute concerns alleged Afghan support for armed groups in Pakistan.
President Trump will go to Corpus Christi, Texas today to campaign for Republicans ahead of Tuesday primaries, the day after New York City's mayor went to the White House.
Meeting with President Trump about housing. Mamdani posted a photo of him and President Trump in the Oval Office, writing, "I'm looking forward to building more housing in New York City."
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this, Monday. ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Good morning. Welcome into Friday. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is a chilly start, 37 degrees, but of course we do have that nice warm-up headed our way. Our time now is 6:04. Governor Mike Kehoe's plan to replace the state income tax with a sales tax is expected to be debated on the House floor next week. This comes about a month or so after a closed-door negotiation between Kehoe and some conservative lawmakers. House Speaker John Patterson says the proposed constitutional amendment will be heard in a committee early next week with a goal of getting it to the Senate before spring break on March 13th. The University of Missouri-St. Louis is being accused of scholarship discrimination. The Equal Protection Project filed a federal civil rights complaint against UMSL, claiming 12 of the school's scholarships give preference to minorities or female students. UMSL sent Fox 2 a statement reading in part, "If we determine any of the scholarships identified in that complaint are still being offered and are not compliant, we'll take steps to bring them into compliance." A St. Charles teen stabbed to death a man his mom met at a bar, according to newly released court documents. Prosecutors say 18-year-old Cash Green was arguing with his mom at their home on Rutgers Lane in October when that man, 47-year-old Joshua Ellison, tried to intervene. Green allegedly got a kitchen knife and stabbed him multiple times. A judge ruled this week that Green will be tried as an adult, saying he's been offered treatment for mental health and substance abuse and refused, adding that his mom would also not cooperate with those recommendations. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken 5-1. Jack Hughes, who of course scored that winning goal for Team USA, will be in St. Louis tomorrow when the Blues play the Devils. On Sunday, Blues take on the Wild. Tonight, Illinois faces number 3 Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Mizzou plays Mississippi State. SLU takes on Duquesne. City SC's next match is Sunday. It is 6:05, 37 degrees. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we've got a little bit of a slowdown on eastbound 70 out at Wright City to a point east of there. Opens up by the time you get to Forestel. That, of course, all due to road work. And other than that, we look good. And that's both the Missouri and Illinois sides. Pretty quiet out there this morning, as it should be on a Friday morning. If something comes up, I'll let you know. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Triton Exteriors. We take care of your home. It's that simple. Triton-STL.com. Home improvement projects can come with a lot of headaches. We save you time by offering packaged services that are easy to understand and based on your needs. We take care of the details so you don't have to. Visit us at Triton-STL.com. That's Triton-STL.com.
We're at 37 degrees now downtown at the Arch. Our time is 6:06. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go and listen to the show anytime. Just download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, we made it to Friday. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show, and it is going to be incredibly warm today at some point, right? What did I hear? 60, high 60s?
70 or something.
Going to be gorgeous out there, but it's not this morning. So I had it in my mind it's going to be warm Friday. I'm not going to wear as many clothes, and I had to walk back into the house and get a coat. It's about 30 degrees out there when I got in the truck this morning.
Yeah, 37 right now.
Yeah, so a little chilly. No, I didn't see any frost, but it was a little chilly out there. Just so you're warned heading out the door on this Friday. Kim, do you have any big plans this weekend? Got taking the kids anywhere, doing anything fun?
I probably need to get them out today. Take them to the playground or something.
Get them out of the house. Let them enjoy that because it's going to get crappy again on Sunday, it looks like. I'm going to Bourbon for Badges tonight.
Nice.
Down at Tapawingo, that event we talked about for the Hero Network a while back. I don't know if it's sold out or not. Last year it sold out, but I guess you can still go to bourbonforbadges.com and see if there are any tickets left for that if you have the evening free. And there's going to be a lot of great first responders down there tonight and a lot of my friends that I've met over the years, including Charlie Metzner, who started the Hero Network. Of course, he's helping organize this whole thing, St. Louis Bourbon Society. And it should be a good time, lots of food and good stuff down there, so in Tapawingo. So whatever you're doing, enjoy that. And we got a full show for you here this morning. We're going to talk to Dennis Hancock coming up. Not only is he a member of the St. Louis County Council, he wants to be the next county executive. And the filing date was this week. The filing started this week. I guess it's possible that more people could put their name on the ballot before the filing period is over. We'll talk to Dennis about that and what he's expecting in that race coming up in a few minutes. We're going to talk to Nicole Murray, check business this morning here at the bottom of the hour. Next hour, Jim Carafano. Again, where were we a week ago? On Iran. We're massing warships over there. They claim they're having talks again. What does it all mean? Claire McCaskill thinks we're about to get in the biggest war of our lifetimes in the Middle East, which I think is a complete hogwash. But it'll be interesting to get Carafano's take on that. And maybe I wonder if he knows anything about the Cuban situation. I've heard nothing else about that since yesterday.
That whole situation's weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard nothing else about that. We'll see what Jim knows about it, if anything. Bob Onder, the Congressman Onder, he and I rode back on the airplane together on Wednesday when we flew back from Washington. So he was up there, short week for him this week in D.C., and I'll find out what he's got going on. I know that he had a very special guest at the Chloe Cole was his guest at the State of the Union address. We're going to talk to him about that. She's the young woman who was mutilated early on in her life during a transgender reassignment effort, and she was there as his guest at the State of the Union. Obviously, the president and others are working hard to keep children from having to suffer through that. And before the show is over today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Baldwin man who yesterday found out he's being deported. In a couple of days, he's been sent back to Mexico after breaking into the country illegally twice. He got married, had a family, and now everybody just wants to refer to him as the Baldwin man, like the Maryland man. But there's a difference. And we're going to talk to an immigration attorney about that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour this morning. Stay tuned for that. Excuse me. Wow, sorry. Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing.
Don't tell me what to say.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton yesterday. They people did not know. Come on, lady. Your husband is in pictures with young women, and I guess questions need to be asked because there are only a couple of people that we know publicly who did spend 28 different foreign trips with Jeffrey Epstein. So what did Bill know, and when did he know it? We may find out today if he doesn't just plead the fifth.
This, I think, is so important to note. After all the events in Los Angeles, after all the events in Minneapolis, after all the events of the last year on immigration, can Democrats actually take advantage on this issue? And a look at the polling suggests actually no. They're in a worse position than they were at this point during Donald Trump's first term.
Which just means, as Harry Enton was pointing out to the CNN crowd over there, Donald Trump's domination in that State of the Union speech is almost complete. What he did very brilliantly was remind the American people that his position is the federal government should take care of American citizens first before illegal aliens, and not a single Democrat stood up to support that. So the lines couldn't be more clear on who stands for America and who doesn't.
What in God's name was the Fed and some of your other agencies thinking when you allowed banks to debank customers for reputational risk?
Fair question. That's the one guy I really wanted to meet when I was in D.C. was John Kennedy. And I didn't come across a single senator when I was up there because I was with a House member, so we were on the House side of things. I didn't see him in person. I was really hoping to meet Kennedy. That whole debanking thing should frighten every single one of you.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You
knew it wouldn't take long, Kim, when I listen to the president ask that question and listen to the raucous applause in the House, because being in the chamber, you could see who was clapping and who wasn't. I could see everything, not just whatever they chose to show you on the TV. It was stunning. What an opportunity to stand up now and clap and then go in front of a TV camera later and say, well, of course I support U.S. citizens, but the Democrats had the opportunity to do that. They opted not to, and instead you had Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar down there screaming expletives at the president, I'm assuming, and KKK and all this other stuff they were yelling at him, right? And now they produced very quickly an advertisement. The first political ad using that. Let's play the full ad if you don't mind, Ethan. Go ahead and play it.
That's pretty much it.
That's it. That's all. I thought we had more than that.
I'll play it, but it's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Listen, I thought it was a little longer.
No. Well, hold
on. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I think it's more of a visual ad.
So you've got the music playing under it while you see the American patriots applauding, Donald Trump saying these people are crazy, and they're all sitting on their hands.
It's effective,
Oh,
especially when you see the
beautiful.
visuals with it. It's good.
It's beautiful. We need to find that and share it on the Facebook page on socials for sure, for people that haven't seen it. All right, we will get to a quick break here. You know, if you're running for office, this is the time when you're checking the registrar's page every day to see who filed, if they're going to run against you or if they're going to run for this House seat or that House seat. And you can bet people are paying attention right now. This week, I know Dennis Hancock was one of the ones that signed up because he is running for St. Louis County Executive. And we're going to talk to him about that and more coming up in just a minute. See.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads this morning. 55 is in great shape through multiple construction zones. Now, we do have some heavy traffic out west, and that is the only exception. And, of course, it's eastbound 70, and it's right now on either side of Wright City. This, of course, is all due to road work. And other than that, we're fine. We look great on 70 from Forestdale into downtown. 6440 is in good shape. Quiet on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
All right, we are at the end of February. This is important, folks, what I'm about to tell you. So May 16th was the last major hailstorm that we've had in the greater St. Louis area. Why is that important? Well, if you might have had damage during that, for most insurance companies, they have a 1 year. You have to file your claim within 1 year of the date of loss. Now, a few of them allow 2 years, but the majority of them only allow 1 year, which means you only have a brief window here to get somebody out to check your roof and see if you had any damage from one of those storms. That's why I'm going to recommend you call Curtis Carrell at Carrell Roofing Company. Here's the thing about it. He has a great relationship with these adjusters, and he advocates for the homeowner. They don't just call things in and see what sticks. They have a 95% approval rating with these insurance companies, right? They have a great success rate in getting you the coverage you're paying for and you deserve. So if you don't know if you had damage, right now is the time to let Curtis send out one of his great team members and take a look at your roof. Get it inspected now. Maybe the answer is there's no damage, and that's great. But you don't want to let that May 16th date come and go without filing, if indeed that's a possibility. Carrell Roofing's great. It doesn't matter what kind of roofing you want put on. They can take care of it, and you can trust Curtis Carrell to tell you the truth about what's going on with your roof and to do the job right. I'm proud of the job he did on my house, and I think you will be too. Here's his number, 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529, or you can check him out online. It's Carrell, 2 R's, 2 L's, CarrellRoofingCo.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
You're back with Marc Cox and Kim St. Onge. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back. Well, guess what? Filing opened up now this week. In fact, while I was up in Washington, D.C., filing opened up so candidates could go and officially put their name on the ballot. And we have got County Councilman Dennis Hancock on the line this morning. He is, of course, running for St. Louis County Executive. And Dennis, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mark. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. So tell us about the process, because you had to go through it this week.
Yeah, it was actually pretty painless. You walk in, you go to the back of the office, and you draw a number out of the bowl to, in case more than one person signs up, to determine your position on the ballot. You sign a few papers, write a check, and you're ready to go.
You always have to write a check to the government, don't you, Dennis?
You do. And,
what is the filing fee, by the way?
It was $100.
Okay, well that's pretty reasonable. Gets right down to it. So what are you expecting out of this race?
Well, for now, I'm as you mentioned earlier, I'm just looking at the website every day to see if anybody else has joined the race. So far, that hasn't happened. I'm not hearing that anybody is expecting anyone to, but you just never know till it's over. But I think that from my perspective, what people are going to hear from me is now is not the time to bring somebody in who needs on-the-job training. We need somebody who's a proven leader, who's done things before in other places and in other times that will help solve the problems of St. Louis County, fix our budget problems, get our roads fixed. Just give people a return for their tax dollar investment. And that's really what we're going to be talking about.
Well, and no doubt you've done all of that. And I guess my question would be, when you're talking to people, when you're, I'm assuming, eventually going door to door and calling people and doing all the things here with your campaign, as you talk to people, what do you tell them as far as what they're doing is when it comes to continuously picking someone who's very liberal is not working for St. Louis County? Because even though it's clear it's not working, for whatever reason, the people keep electing that same type of person.
Yeah, what I like to point to, Kim, is give people the analogy of you're hiring somebody to run your billion-dollar business. Do you want somebody who's actually done that type of work before, or do you want somebody who has no such experience either in the private sector or in the political sector? And you really want to take a chance on them given the history of what's gone on in that position over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah. No,
So
I would.
And that usually connects.
I would agree with that sentiment completely. I don't know how St. Louis County voters can look at that position and think, you know what, we really should elect another Democrat to be St. Louis County executive, because the past 2 or 3 that we've had have done such a glowing job that we're now deep in debt and not even sure where the headquarters is going to be, the county headquarters next, right?
That's correct. And, the county executive, in his ultimate wisdom, has decided to put a hold on any negotiations that are going on with potential places because apparently one of his staffers got their feelings hurt in a meeting that we had. I'm sorry.
Well, somebody wrote in here on Facebook this morning. I want to give you an opportunity to because you kind of hinted at it there, but this person said, why did Dennis vote no for the county offices coming to Northwest Plaza? I don't think that's exactly the case, right?
That is not the case at all. We have not voted on moving the headquarters anywhere. We've not seen anything to vote on. In fact, the council voted to negotiate with the owners of Northwest Crossings. So where that's coming from, I'm not sure.
I don't know either. What is clear is that we don't need several $100 million Taj Mahal built somewhere when the county is having trouble paying its bills right now. What's your plan to fix that?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is, and I'm going to go back 3 years ago when the first meeting I went to about the headquarters building, and get a price to bring the building up to code. If we have to spend a little bit of money now to make that happen, that buys us all kinds of time down the road, that if we decide we want to move someplace else, or if we decide we need a different building, we have time to do that. We're not doing it in a rush, and we're doing it with some purpose in mind. Right now, we're just scrambling. It appears that we're just scrambling, trying to make a hasty decision because we're up against this January of 2028 deadline.
Dennis, I did see that recently the council had passed some legislation that would increase the salary for the county executive from $140 to $195. That would be effective January 1st of next year. So that would be you. Now, I didn't know this until right now. Did I see that Sam Page vetoed that raise?
He did, and he would. This is the brilliant mind of Sam Page. His reasoning is because there's a charter provision that says it has to be done 11 months prior to it taking effect. Well, he held it for as long as he could before he had to do something with it, and then he vetoed it, which means it's going to be at least 2 weeks before the council can take any action to override his veto, which puts us inside that 11-month window. Here he is. This is a guy on his way out, and he's still being as petty as ever.
Yeah. What is the status of the Rams settlement money in terms of what the county is doing with it and what they can do with it?
Right now, we, based on the budget that we approved in December, we have approximately $140 million left in that NFL settlement fund. If you recall, the county executive wanted to fill the entire budget hole at $80 million with that fund. And we said, no, we're not going to do that. We made some strategic cuts. We reduced we eliminated some empty positions that hadn't been filled in a year or more. And so we just, we did it strategically. We did it surgically. And, right now we've got about $20 million of that fund allocated for if we need to tap into it at the end of the year to make sure that we're there. We think we're going to have enough savings throughout the year that we won't need to touch it.
Well, Dennis Hancock, I certainly hope people are paying attention this election cycle. The options, the alternative could not be more stark to your experience in that position. So I hope that people are paying attention. Best of luck to you, Dennis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. The website is hancockforcountyexecutive.com.
Outstanding. Dennis Hancock, we appreciate you. Thank you. A county council member running for St. Louis County Executive. He's right. I mean, you want to turn that over to somebody with zero executive experience. Why would you do that, given what's gone on in St. Louis County, for sure? Coming up, we'll get to Nicole Murray and get you a check of business. We got in other news still ahead. We're going to talk to Congressman Bob Onder in the next hour. Stay tuned.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Does heart disease run in your family? Give yourself peace of mind with our cardiac MRI bundles at Specialty MRI. Personalized scans designed to give you clear, meaningful answers. No long waiting rooms. Scan today for a peace of mind tomorrow. Call us at 636-591-1288. That's 636-591-1288.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Good morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 37 degrees now, 6:30. The driver in a viral video of a truck driving the wrong way on Highway 61 here in Missouri failed an English proficiency test. We've now learned he's Somali and he's from Minnesota. He was cited for wrong way driving and careless driving. Now, it's not clear exactly how he got his commercial driver's license, since Minnesota also requires drivers to pass the test in English. Federal prosecutors are asking a judge to sentence former Missouri Speaker of the House John Deal to 2 years in prison in his COVID relief fraud case. Deal admitted to misusing $380,000 in pandemic aid and pleaded guilty back in September to wire fraud. Deal had asked for a non-custodial sentence because he says he repaid the money. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken yesterday. Tonight, Illinois faces Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Blues play the Devils. Mizzou plays Mississippi State. SLU takes on Duquesne. City SC's next match is Sunday. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, there was an accident, a vehicle accident, reported near Lafayette High School, so be careful through there. And northbound 55, just the beginnings of some volume in the construction zone this morning. And that is mainly at Bayless, or headed for Bayless. Now, the other delay due to road work is eastbound 70 at Wright City. Southbound 61 a little slow at 64 this morning. We are still quiet on the Illinois side and look good on the bridges if you're headed in from the east side. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
For all your interior or exterior home cleaning services, visit www.callcarpetguy.com. It's that time of year to refresh those tired, stained, and worn-out carpets for spring. Call Carpet Guy Home Services with deals starting as low as $39.95. Our professional cleaning will bring your carpets back to life. For all your home cleaning services, schedule online at www.callcarpetguy.com.
Well, I love the high-tech equipment that I have on my thermostat. I got to tell you that. I kind of nerd out on that a little bit. I can pick it up on my phone. I can hit the app, and I can control the temperature at my house thanks to my friends over at Air Comfort Service and that great system they installed for me last year. And it's made my heating bills go down. It made my cooling bills go down. I just love it so far. And let's face it, this morning you needed the furnace on, by this afternoon, you might have the air conditioner on. I don't know how you live in your home, but that's a lot of strain on your system to back and forth and on and off this time of year. The spring and the fall in Missouri puts a lot of load on it. If you need service, there's only one company to call, in my opinion. That is Air Comfort Service. Now, whether they installed your system or not, like they did with mine, they can come over and take care of it, and they will do that on an emergency basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just call them up. They're going to send one of their great technicians over. They're going to get you back in your comfort zone. Here's that phone number so you've got it ready when you need it. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Residential or commercial, they're ready to come in and help. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. You can go online to aircomfortservice.com.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
Scott, I have a joke for you. What rhymes with contractor?
Best Buy Flooring?
Right, with our huge selection of carpet tiles, sheet vinyl, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, laminate, and more. We have the flooring to complete any project.
Come check us out at our 3 locations, Hazelwood, O'Fallon, Illinois, and our newest location in South County on Tesson Ferry between 270 and 141.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Best Buy Flooring, we got the view.
From Collinsville to Chesterfield, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Remember back in the day when Saturday Night Live was funny? And one of my favorite all-time Weekend Update anchors was Norm Macdonald. And I found one of his greatest hits online today because there was a time in the early 90s when the whole Whitewater investigation was going on that we talked about earlier. The Rose Law Firm billing records where Hillary Clinton had to get up and testify under oath. She was one of the attorneys that had handled these records, and nobody suddenly could find them because they exposed what a rotten deal the Clintons were involved in with the Whitewater real estate scam down in Arkansas those years ago. And conveniently, Hillary Clinton didn't recall. She didn't recall what happened to those records. And then later they found them in the White House, like the Clintons had brought them from Arkansas with them to the White House, and they suddenly just appeared again. Do you remember that? Well, Norm Macdonald, even back then, really disliked Hillary Clinton. Here was one of his Weekend Updates. Listen. And I tell you to listen, and I don't have the audio on again. I'd love to blame Ethan for that, but I can't.
Is the First Lady a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village, and furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the book.
There's like a 2-minute clip of Norm Macdonald going sideways on Hillary and Bill Clinton right after he took office back in the early 90s.
Yeah, when they took digs at both sides. That's when it was funny.
It's worth looking up because Norm was one of the best ever on that show, in my opinion, and we lost him, 2 or 3 years ago, unfortunately. What a shame. Those were the days, huh? No kidding. Let's get to Nicole Murray, please. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
Good morning. I am ready for the weekend. That's
are
for
you?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that? Been a long week? All the snow and everything?
Yeah, I'm just over always having a to-do list and, being an adult and all that. It just gets old after a while.
I think you need another vacation.
Funny you say that. One is coming up.
Nice.
Yes,
Where
I'm
to?
excited.
Reveal the location?
Punta Cana.
Oh, that's where I went for my honeymoon.
Oh, did you like it?
Oh, it was great. Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. I'm like a week away. So,
it's the best. Like sometimes I feel like the lead up to a vacation is not better than the vacation, but just the excitement knowing that, okay, now in 5 days I get to leave.
That's in the Dominican, right?
Yes.
All right. I have a friend who's there now. He sent me a picture of himself holding 2 full-size parrots yesterday.
Oh, cool.
One on each hand. It was pretty. He was clearly out there on the beach. He probably had to pay somebody $5 to get to hold the parrots. I don't know.
That's how they make
that was
their
pretty
money.
cool.
Are you doing an all-inclusive resort?
All inclusive, doing some excursions.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going away for my birthday. And on my actual birthday, I booked a booze cruise on like a catamaran with like snorkeling and stuff. Because I said on my birthday, I wanted to be on a boat in the middle of the water and for no one to be able to contact me.
Good for you.
Yes.
Yes, we did that on our honeymoon, and it dawned on me not long after that what a brilliant idea. Take people out and get them drunk and then throw them in the water to snorkel.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, when we did this years ago, those guys had gone out in advance in the area we were going to snorkel, and they took bottles of rum, and they went and they dropped them. And if you spotted one, you were welcome to dive down and get it, or they would dive down and get it for you.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
To even enhance your drunkenness, I guess, while you were on the boat. You too could get a bottle of this was in Jamaica. So that was and afterwards I'm thinking, man alive, somebody could easily have drowned out there because you're playing drinking games the whole way out to where you're going to snorkel, and then you get off and snorkel once you're snorkeled.
Snorkeled?
Yeah.
Snorkeled.
I don't know if this is where you're going, but I think it's called like Sinoa Island or something like that. Punta Cana. It's awesome. Highly recommend if you get an opportunity to do that to go. But man, my husband and I'll have to tell him you're going there because he'll be so jealous.
Oh my gosh.
Very exciting. And the best part of all, it's Punta Cana, not Puerto Vallarta, where you would not want to be right now.
No, I would not.
Yeah, thank goodness you made the right call. What's going on out there?
All right, so futures are moderately lower ahead of inflation data later this morning. Thursday, the Dow Industrials gained 17, the Nasdaq up 273, the S&P 500 lost 37. St. Louis officials say the city needs to address its low population growth if the region wants to see long-term economic success. They added that compared to the rest of the country, St. Louis is falling behind. Pines from local boutique creamery, Clementine's Ice Cream will be hitting grocery store shelves for the first time next month. Starting March 4th, 7 flavors of Clementine's will be available in 30 Schnuck Markets stores across Missouri and Illinois. Those flavors include gooey butter cake, Italian butter cookie, and more. Investors are anticipating the release of January's Producer Price Index, a measure of wholesale inflation. Economists polled by Dow Jones see the headline reading coming in at 0.3%. Data drops at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Burger King is testing AI-powered headsets that can recite recipes, alert managers when inventories are low, and even track how friendly employees are to customers. Restaurant Brands International said it's currently testing the open AI-powered headsets in 500 U.S. restaurants. Home buyers are welcoming something they haven't seen since 2022, mortgage rates below 6%. The reduction could offer home hunters some financial breathing room as the spring home buying season gets started. Freddie Mac reports the benchmark 30-year mortgage rate fell to 5.98% from 6.01% last week. And finally, Taco Bell parent company Yum Brands reports that solo dining orders have risen 52% in the last 5 years. The shift appears to be driven by self-care.
Solo dining orders.
Yeah, so like you run to one of their, they do Taco Bell, I believe KFC is another one of them. They're saying just a lot of single people going to get their food by themselves has increased.
Don't say anything to anger Nicole. I feel a comment's coming, Mark.
Yeah, careful.
No, I wasn't. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why that's like, as an only child who grew up eating alone all the time, I have no problem with that. I don't see why that's a big deal.
I don't like that. I don't like being alone. That is the worst thing you could do to me. Is if I had to go into solitary confinement in prison. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness,
I
that's
like
a good
being
turn I was
around
not
people.
expecting.
By the way,
no kidding.
really fast, before we let you go really fast, back to the Burger King thing. It's sad that we're at a point that customer service is so bad that we need some AI bot named Patty to remind people who are paid to work there, in part to have good customer service, to say something as simple as please and thank you. I mean, seriously, that's sad. You go to the grocery store or any fast food restaurant and people don't even look up these days and acknowledge your existence.
If I were a Burger King employee, though, I would be almost scared to speak into these headsets. Like, what if the AI bot misinterprets something that you say?
Yeah.
And then you get in trouble.
There's that. And people are going to be more afraid if they know that every word they utter is being analyzed by artificial intelligence,
What does
right?
it say? Like, if you're talking to a customer and you don't say thank you, will it get in your ear and be like, say thank you? Say thank you. Say thank you.
I don't know. I kind of understood the story like it would alert management and management would handle it.
Oh, maybe.
We counted 10 times now where you did not say thank you to a customer.
Yeah, right? Literally. So,
Nicole, have yourself a great weekend. Thank you.
thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon. Speaking of friendliness, I used Uber a lot when I was in Washington, D.C., Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is you can now select your preferences while you're riding. There's a box you can click that says you would prefer no conversation.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Like
I thought you meant female drivers,
No.
you
I
also can do.
I didn't notice that. All I noticed that there was what you would prefer. There's a box you could click for no conversation.
Hey, that's just stupid. If we can't even get in there and have conversation or just have the wherewithal to say something like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day, I'm probably going to be a little bit quieter.
I couldn't.
You could just say that to somebody.
I must have, let's see, I took an average of 2 to 3 Ubers a day while I was there, from the airport to the hotel to Fox, from a restaurant back to the hotel. So just 3 in the first day. So I probably did 9-10 Uber trips while I was in Washington, D.C. I will bet you only 2 of those 9 spoke a little bit of English. And most of them, when I would ask them a question, would just remain silent. Like they didn't speak at all. And it was weird. I mean, I'm used to cab drivers and some people like engaging you in conversation.
Yeah, like
when you're in an Uber.
Jimmy Fallon.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It was like some syndicate has taken over Uber in Washington, D.C., and they're putting people in the cabs that don't speak the language at all. It was very strange.
Yeah, that's weird. I just think we've gotten to a point in society where people won't even know how to have a casual conversation without asking ChatGPT, hey, how do I say hello to someone?
Well, I went back and checked the app to make sure I hadn't accidentally clicked that box. I thought it was so odd that nobody was having a conversation with me.
Is that the only thing you can select, or are there other things you can do too?
There are some other options on there. I'll go in and look at it, but I don't know. I mean, other than the fact that I was wearing a suit that said Ice Ice Baby on it, I don't know why they wouldn't have wanted to have a conversation with me. It just makes no sense.
I don't get it either.
At all. All right. We'll be back with other news in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we had a stall this morning, eastbound 70 at Zumbel, but they've moved that off to the shoulder. It's really not causing any kind of issue. There is road work westbound 370 at 141, according to MoDOT. Watch for that in the right lane, but it's 370 and it's going against rush hour, so not really a delay in that area. We look good. Now, eastbound 70 does have a little bit of a slow pocket this morning, headed for Adelaide. Northbound 55 slowing around Bayless. 44 is in good shape. 6440 looks good. And we are quiet on the Illinois side. I want to mention again that tonight at 11 p.m., now this is 11 p.m. tonight till 5 a.m. tomorrow, crews will have southbound 55 completely closed at Route M. So they're going to be doing some road work, and they're trying to wait until pretty late. There will be detours in place. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Hey, you know, Rhino Shield is probably back at work. I mean, these temperatures are fantastic for them, and they're going to be out putting this great product on houses again very soon. And, you know, I listened to my friend Darren the other day because, of course, he does his own commercials for Rhino Shield. You hear him air on here all the time. And I've been saying that they put this application on from Springfield, Illinois, all the way to the Lake of the Ozarks. Well, he mentioned Champaign in his last ad. So they're as far north as Champaign, which is going to be well out of the listening area for us, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. They can put this on condos. They can put it on homes, businesses, you name it. It doesn't matter. The point is, you are an individual who's interested in low to zero maintenance. Honestly, they put it on and you can forget about it. It holds its color. It doesn't fade. You don't have to redo it every couple of years. In fact, with Rhino Shield, as a satisfied customer, I can tell you, they'll give you a 25-year warranty. It won't chip, crack, or peel in that 25 years, or they'll take care of it for you. That's peace of mind. That is you going to the lake on weekends and not worrying about having to be at home because somebody's coming over to paint the house again every few years. Don't do that. Choose Rhino Shield. Trust me. Call them today. Let Darren come out this week and get you on the schedule for probably as soon as next week in March. As soon as these temperatures are solidly above freezing, they're going to start putting this application on again. Get your name on the list now. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
2026 is an election year, and 97.1 FM Talk will be your home for every twist and turn in the 2026 midterms. 97.1 FM Talk. Keep it here for radio coverage that's 25 years strong.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
This is a pretty big deal. So for a while now, Netflix has been wanting to buy Warner Brothers, and even some lawmakers have been talking about how this is not good, how it would be too big of a company. Well, it turns out that it sounds like Netflix is losing in the bidding war to Paramount.
Wow.
Netflix is saying it will not go any higher on its offer, and it sounds like Paramount's offer was noted as superior. I don't know how much higher, but higher.
There's a legitimate concern over this consolidation. I mean, there is. How much more can they charge us from what they're charging us now? You know, if they control all of that content, it's just going to get ugly, right? Mm-hmm. I know there'll be more hearings on that because it's going to probably have to be approved.
Okay, I did just see this. It says Paramount's latest offer raised the purchase price to $31 a share from $30, which would value Warner Brothers at roughly $77 billion. So the takeover bid was a grand total of more than $110 billion.
That
Good
is
grief.
Heart-stopping kind of money you're talking about there, isn't it? That's amazing. All right, well, more to come on that for sure. I don't know if you saw this or not. It was kind of going viral now. Fox covered it yesterday. In California, did you see that video of that toddler running up the driveway with a coyote chasing him in broad daylight?
Cannot imagine.
Pasadena, California. It was home surveillance video that captured this. The 3-year-old boy ran out onto the driveway before freezing in his tracks and turned around in panic and ran straight back up while letting out a terrified shriek is the description here. And moments later, the coyote appeared on camera trailing closely behind The animal moved through the family's front yard and past the camera, and the much louder scream from an adult rang out at that point, as you can imagine. Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing. Easton, my 3-year-old, loves dogs. He's like a moth to a flame.
He might think it's a dog. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not going to know any different. He'd probably try to go pet it.
Man, we have him behind our house. You hear him yelling all night.
Yeah, you can hear him yipping.
And I'm always scared to let my dog out.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of us, I'll say, hate spiders. Is that fair to say?
I don't mind spiders. My
You
daughter's
hate snakes,
terrified of them. I hate snakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So some Pennsylvania man was, I guess, so terrified of spiders that he ended up just setting his home on fire.
That's what we joke about all the time.
Yes.
My daughter will just send me a GIF of a house going up in flames.
Yeah. Says witness told police he saw 36-year-old Sean McDermott setting several fires in his home earlier in the day. Witness said he kept trying to put them out, but then McDermott just kept relighting them. There was probably some mental illness here, too, at play, or alcohol or something. But it says the police report states the suspect said he needed to kill the spiders in his home. Well, maybe he was also hallucinating. I don't know, but that's what he told police.
Have you seen them giant spiders in Australia?
You know, those wolf spiders that we get here, you do not mess with those. Those things are massive.
Don't you just call... What's the pest control point with an E? Pest control that I hear ads on our show, our station
but
for all the time.
But if it's in your house, you have seconds to spare. You got to figure out what to do. Because
they're not stalking you, Kim.
What in the world?
The worst is when you try to kill it and then it runs under furniture, or the worst of it is when it goes behind your bed and now you can't even sleep because you don't know where that thing is.
Now, I can hear you say that and think how irrational that was. But if I replaced the spider with a snake and it crawled under my bed, I would not be able to sleep. So I get it.
Thank you.
I get it.
Listen, while it's under your bed, you got plenty of time to call point with an E.
Just get it. Please just get it taken care of.
You just hose it with spray. That's what you do. You get all the hairspray and you just drown it.
Oh my gosh. They had to bring an astronaut back. The guy they had to bring back from the early return from the International Space Station has finally spoken out about his medical event. They had to bring him back last month, and that was Mike Fink. And apparently, he had a seizure of some sort. Apparently, is what I'm picking up on here. Jeez. And they haven't said exactly what all was going on with him, but they brought him back in a quick hurry. And I guess they brought back the whole crew came back with him, a cosmonaut and 2 other astronauts. All had to come back at once because of a medical event that required immediate attention. And thanks to their quick response and the guidance of our NASA flight surgeon, my status stabilized pretty quickly.
It seems like it'd take a while to get him back.
Well, they needed to do an MRI, and obviously they couldn't do that in space, so they had to fly him back down.
That's
down
coming.
Here.
You know where my morbid brain went is, would 0 G's affect you any different if you were having a seizure?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, what did that flight cost him?
Right.
Did his insurance cover? You talk about having to take a helicopter. This takes that to a whole nother level.
I think the government's got that.
I hope so.
I don't know how you men eat, but there's a TikTok trend called Boy Kibble that's gaining popularity. And it's just talking about this simple dish that men like to eat. It has basically 2 ingredients, white rice and ground beef. And then maybe you can add spices and a vegetable if you want. But apparently guys love it. In fact, I feel like my husband, before we met, this was kind of not the rice thing, but he would just do like ground beef and onions. And that was his meal. And he'd eat it multiple times a week. The guys apparently are eating this 7 days a week, this Boy Kibble dish.
Why?
And they love it. It's simple. It has high protein.
Is it about losing weight?
No, I think
what
it's
is it?
Simplicity and affordability and the ease of meal prepping.
Honestly thought you were going to tell me it was like kibble the dog food.
Well, they're saying it's like a dog dish because dogs eat the same thing every day, and so do guys, apparently.
No, thank you.
I am not surprised.
Coming up, we'll talk to Congressman Bob Onder about the State of the Union address. Stay tuned.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis Roofing, Siding, and Gutter Systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit Triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. with kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and gray bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
It seems like this weather is going to continue. The cold weather is going to continue here in St. Louis and Illinois for the foreseeable future to finish out the winter. Now, if you have been unlucky or you don't want to wait till you're unlucky and you need your furnace fixed or even replaced, call me. We can get your furnace next day. Sometimes we, depending on the manufacturer, it's not us, but just depending on the manufacturer, if they have the parts available, and here in St. Louis or Illinois, we can get you that day. But either way, if you're having problems with the furnace or you want to prevent problems with the furnace, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois, just one number. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's Bart Inman. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Tons of sunshine with us on this Friday with a fast warm-up. It's a little chilly out the door this morning, but how about doing 69 in the afternoon? Tonight, clear skies. Nice evening, 43 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny and nice, 65. Saturday night, partly cloudy, 32. Sunday, clouds with a mix of rain and some sloppy wet snow. It's colder Sunday and 42. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you want to leave, go today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the message the U.S. ambassador in Israel is telling embassy staff in an email this morning, that there may not be flights out in the coming days. This amid a buildup of American military forces in the Middle East and the day after the latest round of talks between the U.S. and Iran. Fox's Jillian Turner's at the State Department.
The two sides spoke for hours, mediated by officials from Oman. So far, U.S. officials are radio silent, but Iran's foreign ministry is talking.
Conflicting statements made by some American officials will continue to cast doubts and questions.
President Trump is demanding Iran scale back its nuclear program, that they can't build a weapon.
Also on the U.S. agenda, Iran's ballistic missile program, its human rights abuses, including the regime's murder of tens of thousands of civilian protesters last month, and its support of terrorists.
And not far away, Pakistan is now saying it's in an open war with Afghanistan. After attacks on both sides of the border, Pakistani airstrikes overnight hit the capital, Kabul, and other Afghan provinces. Former President Bill Clinton will be questioned today by the House Oversight Committee about the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation, the morning after his wife spent hours behind closed doors. And Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
After the deposition, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said she did not know Jeffrey Epstein personally and that she had only known his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, as an acquaintance. She was asked, given that Bill Clinton's name appears in the Epstein files, if she was confident he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes.
The chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light.
Democrats want the committee to also question President Trump about his showing up in the Epstein files. Today, the president goes to Corpus Christi, Texas, campaigning for Republicans ahead of primaries Tuesday. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Happy Friday to all of you. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. It is a pretty start. Sunny, 37 degrees now, coming up on 7:04. Governor Mike Kehoe's plan to replace the state income tax with a sales tax is expected to be debated on the House floor next week. This comes after about a month of closed-door negotiations between Kehoe and some conservative lawmakers. House Speaker John Patterson says the proposed constitutional amendment will be heard in a committee early next week with the goal of getting it to the Senate before spring break on March 13th. The University of Missouri St. Louis is being accused of scholarship discrimination. The Equal Protection Project filed a federal civil rights complaint against UMSL, claiming 12 of the school's scholarships give preference to minorities or female students. UMSL sent Fox 2 a statement reading in part, "If we determine any of the scholarships identified in that complaint are still being offered and are not compliant, we'll take steps to bring them into compliance." A St. Charles teen stabbed to death a man his mom met at a bar, according to newly released court documents. Prosecutors say 18-year-old Cash Green was arguing with his mom at their home on Rutgers Lane in October when that man, 47-year-old Joshua Ellison, tried to intervene. Green allegedly got a kitchen knife and stabbed him multiple times. A judge ruled this week Green will be tried as an adult, saying he'd been offered treatment for mental health and substance abuse and refused, adding that his mom would also not cooperate with those recommendations. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken 5-1. Tonight, Illinois faces number 3 Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Jack Hughes, who scored, of course, the winning goal for Team USA, he'll be in St. Louis when the Blues play the Devils. Also tomorrow, Mizzou plays Mississippi State. SLU takes on Duquesne. Sunday, City SC plays and the Blues take on the Wild. 37 degrees now, 7:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. We are really having a decent commute so far. Now, there's a little bit of volume eastbound 70 between Highway K and 79. But that's about it. Even that delay we had on northbound 55 has gone away for the moment. Northbound 270 is in good shape. We're quiet through North County. Looking good on the Illinois side. A Friday morning. This report brought to you by Point with an E Pest Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Annie here, and I can proudly say no more spiders in my home. I use Point Pest Control 4 times a year, and I haven't seen any, not a single one, since they've been in my home. Mention Annie and get 10% on top of any other special. Point Pest Control, 636-798-0023.
All right, 37 degrees now, 7:06. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or, of course, any of our other shows here on 97.1 FM Talk. Anytime or anywhere, just download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back. If you were listening last hour, Kim, I have the answer to your question.
Yeah,
about the kibble food or whatever you called it, the kibble meal that men are eating.
Yeah.
My buddy Joe texted me and he goes, "My bodybuilding son is on the boy kibble diet."
Okay, there you go.
He loves it. He made it for the family one night so we could all try it, and it was delicious.
Now, here's what I'll say. not to knock your friend Joe, you said, he is kind of acting like it's some like revolutionary dish, but it really is just rice and ground beef and maybe some
but I'm
spices.
sure there's some spices in there, right?
Well, now I will give you that if you can add the right spices, you can make that actually really
Throw
good.
a little soy sauce in there, a little hot pepper, listen.
Chef Mark, what else would you recommend
Chef
throwing
Mark,
in that dish?
You know what Chef Mark had for dinner last night because my wife's out of town? You know what I had
Hot
for dinner?
Pockets?
A chicken pot pie. Out of the freezer.
I wasn't far off.
I got a chicken pot pie out of the freezer, and here's the deal. I could probably eat Chick-fil-A 7 days a week. I mean, I joke about it. I play the song all the time there, but I honestly, after a while, you'd get a little tired of it. That's what the trend thing I don't understand. So if you're on the 75-day challenge or whatever, and
75 hard,
and you've got to eat just that for 75 days, you're going to get pretty sick of it after a while.
Well, that's what is hard about meal prepping. Michael cooked a bunch of stuff. He cooked ground beef and a bunch of burgers and then chicken. But guess what? On day 2 or 3 of it, we're really sick of it. And, like we were talking yesterday, we're like, we look in the container in the fridge and we count how many
more
chicken
pieces
thighs are left. Because we're so sick of it. And obviously the key is making them different ways. I get all that. I'm sure someone's going to suggest that. We're aware. But we were trying to be quick and efficient about it. And then you're just so annoying eating chicken every day.
Just put a little soy sauce on it. It'll be fine.
I did the other day, actually, with rice. And it was fantastic.
I could eat chicken fried rice every day. But after a while, you'd get a little tired of it, I think.
I could
right?
eat pancakes every day. I had pancakes yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I want them again today.
Some canned tomatoes, and it's what we call Texas hash, is what Bendy just said on Facebook. So rice and meat and some diced tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and you're off to the races. All right, glad you're with us this morning. We got plenty of stuff still to go this hour. We're going to talk to J.J. Carafano from Heritage coming up in the next segment here. I want to talk, obviously, about what's happened with Iran, what may be about to happen with Iran, how the negotiations are going, and if he knows anything at all about what happened in Cuba. Because there was a lot of reporting about it yesterday, but not a lot of facts. And I don't know if it's just – I'd love to know because, I watch too many spy movies. Was it some interdiction that somebody paid these people a bunch of money to break into Cuba and get somebody out? I mean, I'd love to know what it was about. Maybe they were running drugs. Who knows? We don't know anything more about it right now. Bob Onder is going to join me. I was on the airplane with him Wednesday on the way back from D.C., and he had a special guest at the State of the Union. We're going to talk to him about that when we get him on here in a few minutes. We'll get to Kim on a whim. And next hour, there was the deportation story yesterday out of Baldwin. Love how the local media plays it. They're just so empathetic. Remember how they played this story? I played the bite probably 2 months ago. Every day his daughter has to walk by his shoes, which are by the front door. She hasn't seen her dad since ICE officers arrested him on the way to work. I'm thinking to myself, why is that nugget of information anything I need to know? I'm certain that this poor family is going through hell right now. I am. But it all comes back to the fact that the guy violated U.S. immigration law by coming here not once, but twice illegally. And finally, the law has been enforced. That's all we're asking for. I don't want to see a family torn apart. Apparently, the mom and the daughter, the children are going to have to move to Mexico if they want to live with him because he's been banned for 20 years.
Good.
So I was anxious to hear a bit more about this story from a legal perspective, and we're going to have an attorney on next hour who handled immigration cases for many years. So we're going to talk about that at about 8:20 this morning. Right now, though, let's get to our top stories. Ethan, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
You can trust me on this. The person who's angriest about this fraud is me. There is certainly no political upside to having fraud in your state, and it undermines the very program that I have spent a lifetime advocating for and trying to implement.
Yeah, raise your hand if you believe that there's nobody in the country more upset than Tim Walz. What he's upset about is that the fraud was discovered, because you can bet a lot of palms were getting greased in the state of Minnesota.
You're either going to wipe out entire departments worth of city services, or you spread that across all of your city services.
He says the extra money St. Louis City Hall would need to spend on police accounts for the entirety of the streets department budget. Instead, they likely cut every department, potentially even laying off workers.
Wow. Is it possible? Are we actually in a position where we could get the police properly funded and reduce the size of the St. Louis City government at the same time? It sounds like that's what they're a little bit worried about over at City Hall.
I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what you want to tell yourself, right, Hillary? That Bill traveled with him all over the world, and Bill, the serial philanderer, never had a single conversation with him about the bevy of beautiful, potentially underage women that constantly accompanied him everywhere.
He's the worst person in the world.
In Whitewater news, federal regulators quizzed Hillary Clinton at the White House this week and gave her a perfect score on the lying section. She's a dirty liar.
Norm Macdonald, one of my favorites, telling the truth about Hillary Clinton. Kim, I know that you won't remember that particular segment on Saturday Night Live from back in the day, but Norm was one of my favorites. He was always one of my favorites on that role for Weekend Update. And there was a stretch of time when the whole Whitewater thing was going on where it was in just about every newscast that Norm did. He was nailing Hillary constantly on the fact that she was a liar. Listen to a little bit longer version of that, because it'll give you an idea of what we're talking about.
In Whitewater news, federal regulators quizzed Hillary Clinton at the White House this week and gave her a perfect score on the lying section. She's a dirty liar. For years, Hillary Rodham Clinton has told people that she was named for the first man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. But as Esquire magazine recently pointed out, Sir Edmund did not climb Mount Everest until 1953, 6 years after Hillary was born. However, the First Lady does have a good explanation for the discrepancy. She loves to lie.
I mean, every weekend on Saturday Night Live back then, they were filleting the Democrats who were in the White House. And they never do that anymore.
Take a bet. Do we think that they will make fun of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton this weekend for SNL? Will it happen? Of Hillary saying, "Oh, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein," and then it shows the picture of Ghislaine Maxwell at her daughter Chelsea's wedding.
I would bet they.
I think they will.
You think they will?
I think that they will say one. They won't harp on it, but I bet you they take one jab.
There's certainly their opening skit will be something about the State of the Union.
Oh,
I'll bet they'll fillet Trump first before they do that somewhere else in the show. I would bet. But where I would love to be a fly on the wall today would be in that deposition with Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah,
when they bring out the photo of him in the blue dress that they found in Jeffrey Epstein's bedroom, and ask him what he knew about it and when he posed for it. Because I don't think he posed for it. But my point is, they're going to ask him that.
But he has all these answers already ready to go because he knows he's not stupid. He's going to have his attorney or someone saying, here are the, however many questions, and here's what you can say back to them.
Bill has never been in this situation before, Kim. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
I say it'll go something like that a little later today. Something very similar to that. I did not have sexual relations with any of those women.
I did not fly on Epstein's plane.
He can't deny that.
Lies.
They know that for sure.
And then maybe Hillary can say, I stand by my man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, coming up, we'll get to Jim Carafano from Heritage. We'll talk more about what's going on in Iran, the possibility of us starting to bomb that country sometime soon. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Welcome to Friday and Friday traffic, which means it's not that bad. Little moderate volume eastbound 70 at 79, eastbound 64 at Timberlake Manor and at Big Bend. But other than that, we look good, and it's quiet on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges into downtown. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Spring is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated Timber Tech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
All right, Home Shield Foundation Repairs loves this good weather as well. It's an opportunity for them to get out and do what they do best, which is fixing foundations. That foundation is your driveway. It could be the steps leading up to your house. If you've got a problem where the soil has shifted a little bit over the years and it's started to lean one way or the other or tilt, they can fix that at Home Shield Foundation Repairs. They can come in with their poly-jacking equipment and insert polyurethane into that void and lift that concrete pad back up and make it even. So much more affordable than having to bust that out of there and start from scratch. So just reach out to them, 314-271-9900. Tell Matt you heard me talking about it. You got that issue going on, or maybe a leak somewhere in the basement. You haven't figured out where it is. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's just annoying, but you can get it taken care of right now, and you don't have to worry about it again because they'll give you that lifetime warranty that they give with all of their basement repair work. Reach out today. Again, tell them Mark sent you, 271-9900, or online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
You know, I was born in the South. South Bronx.
Jim Carafano, we've been playing that intro for you for so long that I kind of forget about your roots there in New York. I mean, I guess you could always quit Heritage and go back there and shovel snow for Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, that would be like a promotion, you know, like a raise.
Well, just take your two forms of ID. That's all.
I know that's a bit tricky for me because I don't know how to get my birth certificate.
And you have no access to a Kinko's either. That's the other problem that Kamala Harris pointed out.
I know, this is so problematic. I do have a passport, though, as you know.
That's true, and apparently not very many Americans do, according to the Democrats.
Yeah, well.
Hey, so a week ago when we had you on here, we were thinking we were on the verge of war with Iran, and we've gone through another week with a lot of posturing. What's the latest on that situation over there, Jim?
Well, look, you know, like I said, I think the president has all the cards. The U.S. number one goal is, you know, keep this regime in a very small box, and I think it'll do that one way or another. I honestly believe if they don't give the president the deal he wants, that he will launch a strike in Iran. And this is going to sound really weird, but from the Iranian perspective, that might not be the worst thing for them, right? So if he blows up their missile and nuclear reactor programs, you know, the regime is still in control, and they live to fight another day, and they've defied the Americans. So I know it sounds kind of nuts from our perspective, like why would you pick that option? But for them, I think it makes them look tougher. And then, like I said a million times, in that part of the world, honor is power. And if you're seen as weak, nobody respects you. And so maybe taking a strike from the Americans and still standing, maybe that's the best option. Maybe that's the one they're going to go with.
Yeah, speaking of conflicts, I saw you tweet out this morning on Ukraine and its counteroffensive right now that I have barely seen any coverage about that in the news.
Yeah, I mean, what they've actually regained several hundred square kilometers of territory in the last couple of months, and I got to tell you, I mean, if the war goes on another year, the way we're going, the Russians might actually lose all the ground they gained in Ukraine. I know that sounds weird, but the Russians, they couldn't win it on the ground, so they try to kind of pound the people into submission. But we've seen the Ukraine's been very resilient in replacing infrastructure, figuring out how they can warm homes and get electricity. And the other thing they've been doing is they're figuring out how to fight by not losing masses of people on the ground. So they're doing offensives, but they're not expending masses of lives to take ground. And when they're defending with drones and rockets and other things. And the Russians are playing a horrific price on the ground game when they try to attack. So the loss ratio is not good for the Russians. Now they can continue to fight because they have a big population and the Chinese are still flowing, stuff to them. So they can continue to pound away, but I actually think they might start losing more ground if the war just keeps going.
Jim, do you have any idea what's going on with this Cuba situation where Cuba shot I guess it was 4 people who died on that speedboat?
Yeah, no idea. I mean, I've just seen the public reporting that you guys have done, so very difficult to kind of just speculate what the situation is there, who those people were, what they were doing. I have no idea. Were they drug smugglers? Were they, people that were going to foment the next Bay of Pigs? Were they tourists? Yeah. I just don't know.
Yeah, I said I've read way too many spy novels, and I find myself thinking, did somebody pay them? Were they mercenaries? I guess
no idea.
I guess the truth will come out here eventually because Rubio traveled down to the Caribbean, I understand, to try to find out more about that. Jim Carafano with us from the Heritage Foundation. Let's focus on a story that happened I think it was 2 weeks ago when they shut down the airspace temporarily down around, was it El Paso?
Right.
In Texas, right? Right on the Mexican border.
Right.
And then they announced it was going to be closed for 10 days, and then they announced that it wasn't, and it only lasted like 3 hours. And then not long after that, the Mexican government takes out the biggest cartel leader, and it makes me wonder what role the U.S. is playing in that war on drugs that is not being reported. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, if special forces get involved in this, that is some pretty bad news for the cartel.
Well, I don't know if the two issues are related. But what I will say is it is very clear that the U.S. is proactively doing stuff in Mexico, and there's this kind of semi-cooperation with the Mexican government, which has always been kind of like, look, please kill the cartel people that we don't do business with.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, but
it's true.
But please don't tell anybody that you're doing it or that we are cooperating with you. So it's this kind of weird, super weird game. So, but the U.S. is taking really unprecedented measures to go after cartel people, and right now the Mexican government really doesn't have much of an option other to play along and again hope that they can just ride this thing. But fundamentally, there's a lot of people in that regime and connected with that regime who have deep ties to the cartels, and it's a really sticky situation. But I will say the most important thing is in terms of decreasing the threat to the U.S. and their capacity to operate here and their revenue stream. It's been downhill since Trump's in office, and that's just good news for us.
Yeah, it really is. And it makes me wonder. I mean, Mexico's got to either be all in or not, because it's spring break time. And all those kids that want to go to Mexico for spring break, if that was my kid, I'd be scared to death.
Well, this they've kind of broken the thing, because the thing is everybody loves the tourist revenue, and the deal was, and all the cartels is that those places are kind of off limits, right? Because they all benefited from the tourist traffic. And so for the cartels to kind of break that taboo and start going after Americans, it puts actually more strain and tension, because Americans aren't going to go.
No.
And then that tourist revenue is going to dry up, and then that's going to make people even more pissed off.
No kidding. Jim, have yourself a great weekend, my friend. Thank you.
All right, I'm off to Pilates class, so wish me luck.
Have fun.
There we go.
All right. Jim Carafano there for the Heritage Foundation. We'll be back with Bob Onder in a minute.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Andrea, you know what it's time to think about?
Vacation?
No, flooring.
Oh, right. I'm way ahead of you there. We have a huge selection of carpet tile, sheet vinyl, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, laminate, and more, with new inventory arriving every day.
That's right. Come check us out at our 3 locations, Hazelwood, O'Fallon, Illinois, and our newest store in South County on Tesson Ferry between 270 and 141.
Plus free financing for qualified purchasers.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring. Open 7 days a week.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis roofing, siding, and gutter systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit Triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 7:31 now, 37 degrees. The driver in a viral video of a truck going the wrong way on Highway 61 in Missouri failed an English proficiency test, couldn't even read the road signs. We've now learned he's Somali and from Minnesota. He was cited for wrong way driving and careless driving. It's not clear how he even got his commercial driver's license, since Minnesota also requires drivers to pass the test in English. Federal prosecutors are asking a judge to sentence former Missouri Speaker of the House John Deal to 2 years in prison in his COVID relief fraud case. Deal had admitted to misusing $380,000 in pandemic aid and pleaded guilty back in September to wire fraud. Deal had asked for a non-custodial sentence because he says he repaid that money. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken. Tonight, Illinois faces Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Blues play the Devils. Mizzou plays Mississippi State, and SLU takes on Duquesne. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an accident on westbound 6440 past Kings Highway. They've got the right lane and the right shoulder blocked, and that is causing just a little bit of a delay. But eastbound traffic looks pretty good. Now, it's a little bit of volume out at Timberlake Manor and at Big Bend, but it's just moderate. And 70 eastbound, kind of the same way, just moderate volume, and it's mainly at 141. Now, northbound 270 has moderate volume in pockets 21 up through the Clayton Road overpass, just right up in there. But other than that, we're good. Now, northbound 109 is jammed on either side of Old State Road this morning. Let's see, 55 slowing at Bayless, but we're quiet on the Illinois side in general. And if you're headed in on the bridges downtown, we look good. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out, from windows and siding to kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces. They give you quality craftsmanship and lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about retirement for just a minute. In fact, today I am going out to look at an RV that I might replace my current RV with, because my wife and I are thinking in retirement that is something we'd like to do. We want to travel more and see more national parks like we did with Glacier recently. What's your dream? What do you want to do once you, like, I'm not retiring anytime soon. Don't take that the wrong way. But what do you want to do when it's time to hang it up, right? You've got to plan for that. And if you're not working with someone on that right now, if your current brokerage firm is not talking to you about that, you need to talk to the Retirement Advisor Group, because they're going to help you protect what you've saved and make sure that your money lasts through retirement to pay those bills, those all-important bills, to make your dreams come true in retirement. And maybe you got something simple to do, or maybe it's more complicated, like traveling around the world. You got to know where the money's coming from. Don't let a big drop in the stock market wipe out half of the money that you've set aside. Call Tammy Kershaw, Bob Kershaw, Thomas Helbig today at the Retirement Advisor Group. They'll sit down with you for free. They'll tell you what they do, and then they would love to work for you or work with you if that's what you would like. 314-993-9494 is their phone number. Tell them Marc Cox told you to call, or go online to retirementkey.com.
When you've been injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or in a medical mishap, there are many reasons to call Morgan & Morgan. But here's reason number 5. We try more cases than anyone in America by a wide margin. We are on approximately 150 dockets a week and win a lot. Go to forthepeople.com to see our verdicts and results. I believe our results give you the best chance of a fair, fast, and just settlement. Insurance companies know who we are by reputation. Imagine me doing this ad if it wasn't true. They would be laughing. Trust me, nobody is laughing. Their employees and adjusters often hire us when they're hurt. They know, and now you know. All law firms are not alike, not even close. With over $30 billion collected for our clients, we became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. These people are crazy.
Capitol Beat.
All right, we've got Congressman Dr. Bob Onder on the phone right now from the 3rd Congressional District. And Bob, you and I were there live in the Capitol when the president uttered those words the other night, and it took them exactly, 48 hours to turn it into a TV ad already.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was really startling. You know, putting American citizens ahead of illegal aliens, boy, that must be a 90% issue with the American people, but not with the Democrats I serve with in the United States House of Representatives. A pretty sad state of affairs.
No, it really is, and you know, so many parts of that speech. You know, in hindsight, when you're in the chamber listening to it, you don't have to wait for the camera to pan to see who's clapping or who's not clapping. So you and I kind of had a bird's eye view of how many times many people on the Democrat side simply refuse to get out of their seats for things that are 80, 20, 90, 10 issues with the American people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. President Trump told the story of the little girl who her parents wouldn't go along with her gender transition, and she was essentially kidnapped and brought across state lines to Maryland, and the parents needed to wage a legal battle to get their daughter back, and the Democrats didn't even clap for that family getting their daughter back. It's just incredible.
I think Trump did a good job of highlighting different people, American heroes, and just showing how heartless some of these Democrats were, like you said, who couldn't even stand up and clap for them and honor them. Now, I know you had a very special guest with you at the State of the Union. Who did you end up bringing?
Yes, my guest was Chloe Cole. Chloe is the very courageous, articulate young woman who she and her parents were convinced that she should transition from being a girl to a boy at age 12. They started giving her puberty blockers and then wrong sex hormones, testosterone. And then at age 15, they did a bilateral mastectomy. And at age 16, she realized, as about 90% of these poor children do, that she was really a girl. And, ever since then, she has just dedicated her life to saving children who are having similar emotional problems from the clutches of the gender transition industry. So it was an honor to have her there. I'm also honored that she was willing to lend her name to my bill, the Chloe Cole Act, which I wrote along with the Donald Trump Justice Department, to once and for all put an end to these horrific practices and hold those accountable for the harm they do to kids.
Amen. And hopefully that gets some traction in Congress. I mean, I could see the Democrats trying to hold that up in the Senate, but again, it's an issue I think most Americans can agree on. I did see where your colleague Kat Kamek from Florida has also introduced a bill she's calling the Riley Gaines Act that would allow female athletes at schools to sue if they're forced to team up with male athletes pretending to be women. I mean, this seems like common sense for me. I can't imagine we have to have a law to make that a thing.
Yeah, I mean, at first glance, it sounds a little bit, novel, but I think it's something that makes complete sense, because after all, these young women and girls, they are harmed in a very real way. They practice, they get up at 4 a.m. for years to shave a second, a tenth of a second, a hundredth of a second off their time in track and field or swimming, or to get stronger for the sports that require more muscle strength, only to have boys or men decimate their records, which has implications for scholarships. It has implications for professional sports. And of course, these girls can be harmed, can be injured in sports like volleyball and certainly boxing. It's not fair. It's not safe that men are pretending to be women and participating in women's sports.
It's very interesting to see Gavin Newsom, who I am convinced is running for president, but he's going around doing these interviews for his book that just got released. But he seems confused on this trans thing, because you hear him talk about how, he doesn't support trans athletes, the men competing with the women. But then I thought he made some distinction the other day, saying that it depended which level you were competing at, that there would be some circumstances where it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Have you heard him talking about this at all?
Kim, I haven't heard Newsom talking about it, but it's something that is out there. There seems to be a little bit of retreat and retrenchment on the part of some of these Democrats who support this trans insanity, and essentially saying, well, yeah, maybe once you get through puberty and you have, very high testosterone levels, well, maybe then young men have an advantage. But before puberty, that's not the case. case. That is not the case. Even before puberty, boys have physical, biological, muscle strength differences from girls. And no, it's not. It's not fair for a fourth grade girl to be forced to compete against boys any more than it is older children.
Yeah, we're talking to Congressman Bob Onder from the 3rd Congressional District. Bob, the whole issue of health care. You and I were talking about this a little bit as we got off the airplane on Wednesday. In December, when the Democrats were shutting the government down the last time, we were told we were about to fall off a cliff if the Republicans didn't fund Obamacare premiums and subsidies and all of this stuff. And then they came to the table, the government reopened. I know they partially shut it down again. But what's happened to that story? I have not heard a single thing about Obamacare premiums since the Democrats gave up and went away on that.
Yes, and remember, Mark, remember when the shutdown began, at first the Democrats' demand was to get rid of all the Medicaid reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill,
right.
And especially they wanted to give Medicaid to illegal aliens. And then they realized that wasn't very popular. So they shifted to these expiring COVID-era Obamacare credits. And they alleged that if these credits expired, and COVID had been over for 2.5 years, officially longer than that probably, that if these credits expired, no one could afford health care and everyone would die. And there were all sorts of wild estimates, 8 million people losing their health care. Turns out the numbers went from about 13 million to 12.5 million Americans who were on Obamacare exchanges. Really a trivial difference, and especially since we're doing a better job with verification now that these zero premium categories, a lot of those people didn't exist. One Social Security number was used to get insurance 126 times. Those are just checks going to the insurance company that you and I are paying for out of our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. So you'll notice there wasn't. I have no doubt some people were benefiting from those credits and they went away, but it just shows that the Democrats wanted to double down on a failed system. We need to reintroduce choice and competition into the health insurance marketplace. That's what Obamacare essentially outlawed. We need to reverse that and allow people to choose better, less expensive plans that suit them, not some bureaucrat or insurance executive who wrote Obamacare.
That's true. Some cookie cutter plan that makes you pay for coverage you don't need. That's what our complaint always was about that. One final thing, Bob, on our end here, I listened to Jonathan Turley, the legal analyst for Fox earlier, talking about this report of the Biden FBI targeting Susie Wiles' phone records.
Yes.
In regards to the Jack Smith case, in this far-reaching investigation they were doing to try to get Trump. What have you learned about that? And are there going to be immediate hearings on this again?
Yeah, this is a late-breaking development. I just heard about it yesterday. But yeah, once again, it shows you the utter politicization of the Biden Justice Department going after its political enemies, Donald Trump and all Donald Trump's associates, whether in Congress or on his campaign team, on his White House team. This is horrific. This is third world banana republic or Vladimir Putin stuff, using the power of government to go after your political enemies. It's happened before, but the Biden administration did it on an unprecedented scale. And I have no doubt that we in the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan being my chairman, will be going after this and investigating.
Glad to hear it. Bob, thanks for your time this morning, and it was great to see you this week. Thank you.
Likewise, Mark. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Congressman Bob Onder there, back in the district right now, I'm sure, before he heads back to D.C. Next week. Kim, what do we got coming up?
Well, there is an alarming new trend that has really taken off on social media, something called Therians. Never heard of it until now, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you a hint. It has to do with someone wearing a tail and a mask.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not a bad commute this morning. If you are eastbound on 70, it looks great from Forest Dell into downtown. Now 6440 We've got a little bit of volume at Timberlake Manor and at Ballas and at Big Bend. But other than that, it's not bad. Now, westbound 6440, there was an accident just a little bit past Kings Highway, and they had the right lane blocked. Well, it's now off on the right shoulder, so things are improving through there. If you are westbound on 44, it's kind of slow there as you head for Shrewsbury. That, of course, due to road work as well. On the Illinois side, we're quiet. Just some moderate volume westbound every now and then on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. 100 years. That's how long they have been repairing and replacing garage doors for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online, overheaddoorstlewis.com. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Now, if you have been starting to think seriously about retirement, you know that you have saved and you're thinking, okay, that's good, because it is good. That much we know how to do. But when you start thinking about the details of retirement, like, okay, is this enough money? And how do we deal with taxes in retirement? We are just not taught how all of that works. And this is why I like financial and tax architects, because their idea is, all right, we're going to teach people how it does work. They put on a class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's 90 minutes. It's one night. It's kind of eye-opening, and it's free. But the purpose here is not only to teach you, but so that you can see how financial and tax architects work, because they can sit down with you and come up with a plan. You'd have a partner in retirement, somebody that you can count on to know that your money will make it. So go to a class first, FTA-RIA.com, FTA-RIA.com, and register and go from there.
Never miss a beat. Take 97.1 FM Talk with you. The voices you trust, Marc Cox, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon, Scott Jennings, and more are just a tap away with the Odyssey app. Stream 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Marc Cox is St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
I have to read you the actual first sentence of an Associated Press article. Here's what it says. On a recent Sunday, a Buenos Aires plaza transformed into a makeshift wilderness for an unusual group of teenagers. The unusual group of teenagers involved what's called Therians. Have you ever heard of that?
Spell it for me. Is it Therians?
You got it.
Okay. No, I have not.
Individuals who say they identify mentally, spiritually, or psychologically with non-human animals. So animals. Why do we first of all need to say non-human animals?
Thank you. Why
aren't all animals non-human? The trend has taken over Argentine social media over the last few months, but it's spreading around the world apparently. There's a hashtag Therian. Just that hashtag alone already has some 2 million posts. But all over Latin America, apparently all of the other Latin American countries are sharing this, and it's really taken off. Now, it sounds like a bunch of furries to me.
Thank you.
Who gather together in this park, and they wear masks and tails. And there's some people who say, you know, I act like a human, just like you. I wake up and I act like a human, but I really started feeling attracted to these identities. And being with all these other Therians, I realized I'm not alone.
Okay.
I'm not crazy.
Here's the difference, Kim.
That's what they say, as they're wearing tails on their butts and masks looking like a fox.
Remember the good old days when we would have locked somebody up for psychiatric care if they did something like this.
The good old days.
And today we celebrate it. Furries, there's a difference. Here's the difference. Kim, you know the difference?
I would.
This is according to AI. That's 2 words. Artificial intelligence. AI overview. Furries are fans of anthropomorphic animal characters, which means they dress up in furry costumes, often creating their own persona and engaging in hobbies. Whereas Therians, short for therianthrope, they truly believe they are non-human animals trapped in human bodies based on a deep spiritual or psychological connection.
Oh, there's a psychological issue going on to believe that. You know what I would like to see, Mark, and you and I touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
If you truly believe you are a fox or a dog, whatever non-human animal you feel like that day, what would stop anyone from demanding that they get to participate in next year's Puppy Bowl? Or that they want to compete in the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show?
I don't know what would stop them. How could you stop them?
Would that not
Is there
be
a law?
Would that not be discriminatory if I said
I would think
I am a Chihuahua and I feel like a Chihuahua? Doesn't matter what I look like. I feel like a Chihuahua. Deep to my core, I am, and I would like to compete. And here are my paws. I need you to examine them, and I would like to jump over the hoops and run around and wag my tail.
Now, realistically, Kim, let's pause here for a moment.
That's PAUSE.
Thank you. You would have to qualify.
Well,
but I think as long as you made it through the preliminaries and you qualified, I don't see why you couldn't compete.
Mark, I would qualify. Are you trying to say I wouldn't?
I don't know. What kind of like dog would you imagine you would want to portray if you were in the Westminster Kennel Club?
Lab.
A poodle, like a golden doodle? Or?
No. Well, I mean, golden doodles are great, but no, I'd probably be. You should ask my husband what type of dog he thinks I would be, personality-wise. He probably would say a lab.
Oh my goodness!
Or like a golden retriever.
If you were a parent and your child came to you with this, you should be charged with some crime if you don't immediately take them for psychiatric care. Honestly, you think you're an animal, a non-human animal trapped in a human body. You really believe that? What if they think they're a bird and they go out and try to jump off the roof? I mean, you're putting your child's life at risk.
I mean, are we going to get to the point where we start seeing humans wearing tails at the local St. Louis Zoo?
And then you won't be allowed to say anything because these morons are already doing it in Europe. They're going to try to pass laws so that you would get in trouble for daring to say anything about them. I mean, honestly, that they're trying to take away our free speech in this country where you can't call a nut a nut. I mean, the president did it in the State of the Union the other day. These people are crazy. They're crazy.
This so-called Therian believes that the trend took off in Argentina because the country's, quote, a fairly free environment. That people
mental
can
health
feel
free?
truly
They're free
accepted.
They're free of normalcy? What are they free of?
Common sense and reality. They need to be brought back down to planet Earth. Whoever wrote non-human animal, I'd also like to talk to you because you have problems as well. This is like, no. Do I need to explain to you that all animals are non-human last time I checked? I don't know why I'm harping on that, but I'm so, like the undead, the unhoused, I'm so tired of all these politically correct terms, and we're all supposed to just adopt them, and if we don't, then we're hateful, and all the other names that they like to throw at us.
What's maybe for people that claim they have a spirit animal, are they just invisible Therians? Is that what they are?
Someone said on the text line, Kim, please do not start barking on the radio.
There are YouTube videos on the difference between Therians and furries. I'm not making this up. This one thinks he's a wolf.
Remember the guy in, where was it, like China, thought he was a lab and he looked quite...
He was a collie.
He was a collie. We used to have collies as kids, and he looked like a collie. He'd walk around with fur, and it was weird.
I would admit that we should probably have these people in kennels or something with high fences for sure. Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get to our Queen of Hearts drawing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the next space shot and the opportunity for NASA. Stay tuned.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in a school pickup line, thinking about what to make for dinner, are the kids' practice jerseys clean, if she sent out that last email before leaving work. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your HVAC systems at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com today. After all, comfort is our middle name.
Get ready, St. Louis area. The St. Charles Boat Show is here March 5th through 8th at the St. Charles Convention Center. See the top dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks and climb aboard your next dream boat. New models, great deals, and summer fun starts here. Visit lakeoftheozarksboatdealers.com for details.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Marc Cox here. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and mention the 97.1 special.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Tons of sunshine with us on this Friday with a fast warm-up. It's a little chilly out the door this morning, but how about doing 69 in the afternoon? Tonight, clear skies. Nice evening, 43 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny and nice, 65. Saturday night, partly cloudy, 32. Sunday, clouds with a mix of rain and some sloppy wet snow. It's colder Sunday and 42. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A memo to U.S. Embassy staff in Israel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, as U.S. military forces build up in the Middle East ahead of a possible conflict with Iran.
United States Ambassador Mike Huckabee has told embassy employees that anyone who wants to leave Israel has permission to do so, and anyone who does want to go back to Washington should go today. Get the first flight you can, says Ambassador Huckabee's email, adding that in days to come, flights may not be available. He does say there's no need for panic, but it comes after US and Iranian negotiators ended another round of nuclear talks without a deal.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. is demanding in those talks that Iran scale back its nuclear and missile programs, and Vice President Vance gets involved today.
The foreign minister of Oman, who has been facilitating some of these talks with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and the Iranians, plans to meet with J.D. Vance today to try to talk the U.S. out of a new Middle Eastern conflict.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Former President Bill Clinton will be questioned in 2 hours in Chappaqua, New York, where he lives, about the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation by the same House Oversight Committee that his wife Hillary Clinton talked to for hours yesterday.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein.
Democrats want the committee to also question President Trump about him being in the Epstein files. The president will go to Corpus Christi, Texas today, campaigning for Republicans before Tuesday primaries, touting an economy he says is roaring. We got an inflation update this morning. Prices at the wholesale level rose 0.5%.
That is hotter than the 0.3% that was expected, and it matches December's number.
And while the annual rate of producer price increase dropped slightly to 2.9%, Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti also reports.
If you strip out volatile food and energy, core PPI year over year in January, 3.6%. The market is selling off further on this information.
As for that looming sell-off, Dow futures down about 500 points. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Good morning. Welcome into Friday. I'm Kim Sainanj for 97.1 FM Talk. Sunny, still pretty cold though right now. 37 degrees coming up on 8:04, but we do have a nice warm-up headed our way. Governor Mike Kehoe's plan to replace the state income tax with a sales tax is expected to be debated on the House floor next week. This comes after about a month of closed-door negotiations between Kehoe and some conservative lawmakers. House Speaker John Patterson says the proposed constitutional amendment will be heard in a committee early next week with the goal of getting it to the Senate before spring break on March 13th. The University of Missouri St. Louis is accused of scholarship discrimination. The Equal Protection Project filed a federal civil rights complaint against UMSL, claiming 12 of the school's scholarships give preference to either minorities or female students. UMSL sent Fox 2 a statement reading in part, "If we determine any of the scholarships identified in the complaint are still being offered and are not compliant, we will take steps to bring them into compliance." A St. Charles teen stabbed to death a man his mom had met at a bar, according to newly released court documents. Prosecutors say 18-year-old Cash Green was arguing with his mom at their home on Rutgers Lane in October when that man, 47-year-old Joshua Ellison, tried to intervene. Green allegedly grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed him multiple times. A judge ruled this week that he will be tried as an adult, saying he'd been offered treatment for mental health and substance abuse and refused, adding that his mom would also not cooperate with those recommendations. In sports, Blues beat the Kraken 5-1. Tonight, Illinois faces number 3 Michigan at 7. Tomorrow, Jack Hughes, this is cool, who scored that winning goal for Team USA. He'll be in St. Louis when the Blues play the Devils. Mizzou takes on Mississippi State tomorrow. SLU takes on Duquesne. Sunday, City SC plays and Blues take on the Wild. It is 8:05, 37 degrees. I'm Kim Sainanj for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
The accident is still there, westbound 6440 past Kings Highway. They're mostly on the right shoulder, but a little in that right lane. So it's causing a delay through there. Eastbound traffic on 64, slow pockets east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. We've got some volume downtown, especially on northbound 55. As you ramp onto the Poplar Street Bridge, there's an accident, so that has caused a delay. Westbound 44 is slowing around Hampton and Shrewsbury. That, of course, due to road work. On the Illinois side, we're pretty quiet, and we look good on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
37 degrees now downtown at the Arch. Coming up on 8:07. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show anytime. It's very simple. Just download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond.
Yes, or maybe not. I can't wait to see the transcript from that. Welcome back into the Marc Cox Morning Show. A little hill for you this morning. Hope you weren't eating when I played that. But she had to testify yesterday. Democrats are all acting like they're put out that Bill and Hillary are being dragged to a deposition when it was a bipartisan vote on the Oversight Committee to subpoena them and to potentially hold them in contempt, which is the only thing that brought them to the table. This is completely legitimate. For anybody else they've had in there talking about Epstein, Bill Clinton potentially spent more time with him than anybody besides Ghislaine Maxwell, when you think about that. For all these people whining and moaning and complaining about the Epstein files and what's been released and what hasn't been released, there's nobody that spent more time with him than Bill Clinton. And to know Bill Clinton and to know what his track record is with allegations of assault and things like that over the years, it stretches the imagination to think that he didn't have any idea what Epstein was up to. And now that Epstein's dead and Maxwell's in prison, all he's got to do is, I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't think he'll plead the fifth. I really don't, because if you plead the fifth, you're almost admitting the fact that if you said something, you might incriminate yourself. So I think he's a lawyer. He's going to lawyer up, just like we can expect completely on that one. Would be my take on it. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to happen today when Bill gets up there. Eventually, we'll probably see the transcript, maybe some video out of it. Maybe Lauren Boebert will leak another picture of him testifying. What do you think?
Man, so I wonder what that conversation was like between the staffer and the House Oversight Committee yesterday with Hillary. They just said, we've learned of a leaked picture and we're ending this right now.
Maybe. I don't know. I that's the whole thing about it. And somebody on here on the text line, did you see that comment earlier? Accusing me of being an elite?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, I'm one of the elites, it said on here.
How is Mark elite?
Well, I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd also love to know what my what my privilege is. Can anybody help me with that?
Well, it's because you're a white male.
I agree with the texter.
Oh, that I'm elite?
Mark.
I memean, I'm an elite broadcaster, but beyond that, it's not because of the size of my bank account. I can guarantee you that. That's the whole point here. In other words, the suggestion is that rich people are the reason that they haven't released more of these files, and I'm apparently one of them, according to somebody on the text line this morning.
That's probably the guy who tells us that we suck every day.
It could be. That is very possible. Coming up, we're going to get to our Queen of Hearts drawing. We're going to talk more about the Baldwin guy who is if he's not on his way back to Mexico right now, he's going to be very soon deported for breaking immigration laws. And we're going to kind of break down how the local media has really, really done a disservice with this story, in my opinion, because it's not at all the way they portrayed it. I don't believe. So we're going to talk to a former immigration attorney about that, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that trip to the moon because, of course, Ethan's shaking his head. He doesn't believe it ever happened to begin with. We have a rocket on the stand down in Florida ready to take off again, and we're going to look at what some people think the opportunity is here for NASA that's been unrealized since the original flights and getting rid of the space shuttles and all that kind of went away years ago. It's all coming up right now. Let's get to our top stories.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
This, I think, is so important to note. After all the events in Los Angeles, after all the events in Minneapolis, after all the events of the last year on immigration, can Democrats actually take advantage on this issue? And a look at the polling suggests actually no. They're in a worse position than they were at this point during Donald Trump's first term.
Yeah, Harry Hinton over at CNN, he's like, listen, the Democrats are losing on the immigration issue. That's why it's the last thing they want to talk about, particularly the State of the Union. Donald Trump did to him exactly what he needed to do. He drew them out and let them show the American people who they really are.
I try to color quite literally with pastels the landscapes. I begin the book talking about looking out over the American River, where Eureka, Eureka was yelled, and yellow gold, and how, we were born of genocide in California.
We were born of genocide in California. That is Gavin Newsom, the man who would be president. I guess he thinks we're all living on stolen lands and should turn over our mortgage deed to somebody else. I don't know. I don't know what in the hell is he talking about. Does anybody have any idea? If you have any idea, please let me know, because I would love to know.
Why would the government of Wisconsin not want to help us kick fraud off of the welfare rolls and kick fraud off of the voter rolls? And the only answer I can possibly come up with is because they like to cheat.
Yeah, there you go. J.D. Vance laying it out. I appreciated that. Little bit of honesty on what he thinks is. Because if you don't want to show us what's on the rolls, what are you hiding?
He's a beloved member of Covenant Presbyterian Church in Town and Country, where the congregation has been lifting the family in prayer.
Yeah, some Channel 2 audio for you there this morning, talking about the situation with the illegal alien from Baldwin, the Baldwin man, as they're now referring to him as, just sort of like the Baltimore man. And this guy has been deported officially. That's what the story is about. And we're going to the reason I invited an immigration lawyer on here is I'm trying to figure out, other than the fact that I'm just a completely heartless person, apparently, what am I missing about this story? If you were caught drunk driving once and you get caught drunk driving a second time, the penalty is considerably worse, because that's the law. And the law we currently have to deport people is, if you break into the country once, that's bad. But if you get deported and you break in again, you get banned from the country for like 20 years. I don't care what your reason was for coming back. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's what the law is. And that's what got enforced in a courtroom the other day. And a lot of people are upset about this. It surprised me, the number of people who were upset about this, that it wasn't fair. I listened to his attorney say they're punishing his family.
Well,
no, nobody told him to come to the United States and create a family. He was here illegally. They always had to know this was a possibility.
Keep in mind that a lot of the local media outlets are putting up montages of his adorable kids and his wife and how cute they are as a family. And they're very effective at tugging at the heartstrings. I commented on Fox 2's Facebook post about this, and I said, he put his family in this position by being in the country illegally. How awful. Trump isn't tearing them apart like they were claiming. They can go with him back to Mexico, as it sounds like they are. As a former TV journalist, the way this was reported is awful and biased.
Good. And I think that you're absolutely true. And that's not saying that you don't have any empathy for the lady. She married him. She has a couple of children that are American citizens, and now in order to spend time with their dad, they're going to have to go back to his home country and live there. because that's the only option they're going to have, it seems like. And they're about to find out what the immigration laws are like in Mexico, which are a lot worse than the ones in the United States. If you go down there illegally, you can't go to school, you can't get any state assistance, you can't do anything in Mexico unless you're just there on vacation in Puerto Vallarta for a week, which right now you may risk getting shot at. I don't know. Anyway, quick break here. We'll get to more on that story coming up. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
It has not been a bad commute this morning, but we have had some issues. If you are eastbound on 44, things look great, but westbound is slow around Shrewsbury due to road work. 55 looks good down south, but there was an accident on the ramp or near the Poplar Street Bridge, and that caused a delay in the right lanes of northbound 55 at the bridge itself. Eastbound 64, most of that volume is moderate, approaching 170 through Big Bend. 70 now looks great, really no delays as you head in from out west. And we're quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Grasser Electric doing a lot these days. Of course, they've been around for 50 years. They've been in business doing the great work that they do on electrical work in your home, right, for commercial and residential people throughout the sound of my voice, wherever you are, Southern Illinois, Missouri, they're going to be able to take care of your electrical needs. And now they're offering plumbing as well. So it's sort of a one-stop shop for either one of those issues with 24-hour emergency service. Grasser's going to get over there. They're going to do the job right. Listen, I know I've had pipes burst before. When you have a pipe burst, you need help quickly. That's why they have their phone number where somebody's going to respond to you around the clock. And if you have an emergency, they're going to dispatch somebody and get that taken care of. So I would encourage you to reach out to Grasser, talk to whoever answers the phone. Shane and Josh are just great people, and they're going to get you taken care of, and maybe you'll even get little Barrett on the phone. No, I don't think they're making him work yet, but he's very cute in the commercials for sure. All right, go online today to tell him Marc Cox sent you. It is GrasserElectric.com.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you're truly prepared? When it comes to retirement planning, keep in mind financial and tax architects. FTA has helped families all across St. Louis plan to retire with clarity and confidence. FTA specializes in creating tax-efficient retirement strategies, showing you how and when to claim Social Security, and building an income plan designed to last as long as you do. Their Retirement Planning 101 class is an eye-opening 90-minute session offered on campuses of colleges and universities throughout the St. Louis area, and there's no cost or obligation to attend. You'll learn how to avoid costly mistakes, reduce unnecessary taxes, and make your money work smarter in retirement. Remember, you only get to retire once. Make sure you do it right. Call 314-888-5101 or visit fta-ria.com to reserve your seat today. Space fills quickly, so don't wait. Take the first step toward a more confident retirement.
When it comes to lighting, Graybar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Graybar mode. Yep, Graybar does that.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Alejandro Perez pleaded guilty to one count of illegal entry into the U.S. in 2012. His wife says he self-deported earlier that year to help his injured cousin get back to Mexico. She met him in 2019. They got married in 2020. They have 2 daughters, both under age 4.
Yeah, more of the Channel 2 coverage over there of this situation. The music you started to hear, they played something from a church organ, and obviously their church has been supporting them through all of this. But, at the end of the day, there was one person responsible for what happened yesterday in this court case, and that's Alejandro Perez, who was deported out of the country, and instead of trying to come back in legally, and I don't know what all the laws are on that, he broke back in, and then he got married and had a family. So then all along, he must have known, I would think, this was a possibility. I asked my friend Jelesia Kuenzel to join us this morning. We've known each other for a long time. I know for many years, Jelesia, you worked as an immigration attorney. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Mark. Good to hear from you.
Well, it's great. It's great to hear your voice again. I know I've had you on the program a couple times over the years, probably on immigration issues.
Right.
You're right. So what is your take on this case?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you and your listeners that, and as you probably know, I'm a very compassionate person. I do look at these things in the lens of, not just legal, but also family oriented. However, my mother was from Peru. My mother is an immigrant, as you probably know. She
right.
was, and actually, she's very conservative. She always says she's an American born in the wrong country, which I think is pretty funny. But, we were born in the best country in the world, and I'm not going to be apologetic for being an American. I'm incredibly proud to be an American, and I'm incredibly proud of what we've done in a lot of these immigration cases as well. Now, I will say this, there are different levels of punishment for this, and the next punishment would have been indefinite deportation, which means, he can never come back, a ban from coming to the country at all. So that's not what they did here. They gave him 20 years because if you do more than a year, if you're in the country for more than a year, you get a 10-year ban, okay? And so he was deported twice. I think that is what I saw in the news reports. And so that means it's 20 years. Now, he can also apply for a waiver, but I completely agree with you, Mark. There is nobody at fault here except Alejandro Perez. That's it. I mean, this isn't the system failing anybody. The system is working as far as the decision that was made by the judge. It was appropriate. And, yeah, there's a hardship to the family. What really struck me when I was listening to the news report was how the attorney was like, oh, well, now they're sentencing the family. I mean, what does that even mean? Nobody's sentencing the family. The only person that put his family in the situation was Alejandro Perez. Yeah,
it's sad, but it's true. So, Jelesia, I have to ask for the ban. Like it would be a 10-year ban. In this case, it's a 20-year ban. Is that a ban on even trying to legally travel back to the U.S., or is it a ban on starting the process to try to come back in legally? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's my understanding that after 10 years of being outside the country, no, he can't try to come back in. He needs to apply for a waiver.
Okay.
And that has to be done overseas. That has to be done outside the country. He can't be here and trying to apply for it. There are certain circumstances where you can do that, but I don't think his is a circumstance for that.
So with the waiver then, it would literally waive the whole 20-year period, and he would just try to say, hey, I want to reapply to come back to the United States right away?
Yeah, he'd have to be outside the United States. I think even before he can apply for the waiver, and I've been out of immigration for a little bit, but I believe he has to be out for 10 years at least before he can apply for the waiver.
Wow.
Now, he may try to apply, but again, it's not necessarily the 20 years. It's my understanding that you've been out for 10 years, you can apply for the waiver. He could try to apply for it sooner, but it's likelihood that it's probably not going to get approved, and it's discretionary. There's a lot of evidence he has to submit with it. He has to have close family ties in the U.S., hardship to a relative who are U.S. citizens, and good moral character, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of evidence that you have to submit. And so it really is discretionary as to whether they give him the waiver or not.
Yeah. Jelesia Kuenzel's with us this morning, and she's an attorney. For many years, she worked in immigration law. When you look at the immigration policies right now, the Trump administration, for example, and they say we're going to go after the worst of the worst, and those would be people that have committed crimes since they've been here. I think most people that makes perfect sense. And then the next level down from that would be people who have violated the immigration law, like this guy did twice, which would be a step above just walking down the street and finding somebody who's minding their own business who did break into the country, but they've somehow managed to avoid detection or whatever, and they haven't committed any crimes and all of that stuff. I see each one of those at a different level. When people say the immigration system's broken, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I'd say it's probably broken in the sense that people that actually want to come here and contribute, it's a huge bureaucratic nightmare for them. Like I did a lot of that on that side of it, where I was trying to get people who had, specific skills, and they were coming in and they had advanced degrees. And that is usually a giant nightmare to try to get somebody in. But that part of it, I think, can definitely be fixed. But as far as the enforcement part, I think actually Trump's doing pretty well on the enforcement part. Yeah, you have to have laws. You have to have borders, or you don't have a sovereign country. Well, and you know what's so interesting, Mark, is that no one's talked about the Mexican immigration laws. Yeah. I was looking a little bit into it last night, and I'll tell you, their laws are a lot tougher than ours. It's considered a felony in Mexico if you come in illegally, and if you have 2 deportations, you can face prison time for up to 10 years in Mexico in a Mexican prison. So they're a lot tougher than we are with our immigration laws. It sure sounds like it. Listen, Hasha, great to connect with you again, and thank you for giving us a few minutes this morning. We appreciate it. No problem. Take care, Mark. You take care of yourself. Give your mother my best, please, as well. All right, coming up, we'll get to our Queen of Hearts drawing and the results of that, and we're going to talk a little bit more about our trip to the moon that's coming up. It's a great time, if there's ever a great time, to purchase a furnace or an air conditioner. I know it's winter. We got some great pricing. You can get 0% financing. So if you have been told that you need a new furnace, definitely give me a call. I could probably save you lots of money. Get a second opinion. Call me. Next day installs for your furnace, so you won't be without heat very long. A furnace average install about 2-3 hours for a furnace. So not a big issue to do it now. And like I said, great pricing. So if that's you, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Just the easiest number. And there's one. 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless. All right, Victory Men's Health is out there for you just like they have been for me. And if you haven't taken advantage of it, now's the time, gentlemen. Quit putting it off. You're not getting any younger, and those problems you're noticing aren't going to just go away. You need to get somebody who's a medical professional who's studied men's health issues for years and years, and that's what they have at Victory Men's Health. It sets them apart from the crowd. You're not dealing with people who are, just have a nursing degree. You're dealing with medical doctors who specialize in treating men's health. You go into the clinic, you're going to love each of their locations. They're just fantastic. And they take a blood test. They take a look at your blood panel. They look at things like PSA. They can do cancer screenings. They can do cardiology, cardiovascular screenings. They can check for vitamin deficiencies. They can find out if your testosterone levels are where they're supposed to be or not. The point is, get busy, make your appointment. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We've had a really nice commute this morning, and that continues to be the case. Quiet through North County. Eastbound 70 looks great from out west into downtown. Now 6440 still has a little bit of volume right around 170, and westbound is slow at Clayton Skinker, but that's about it. Northbound 55 is in great shape. We're quiet on the Illinois side. Now a major thing going on this weekend. It's a major closure tonight. Now, it starts at 11 p.m., and it goes till 5 a.m. tomorrow. Southbound 55 will be completely shut down at Route M. tonight at 11 through 5 a.m. tomorrow. They will have detour signs in place. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Spring is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated TimberTech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
All right, I have to tell you, my friend Darren over at Rhino Shield has done quite a job over the past 20 years. Congratulations to him. 20 years doing business here in Southern Illinois and the state of Missouri. And I'm an early customer because it was probably 17 years ago, 17 plus, when I got Rhino Shield put on my house. It was fantastic. I didn't have to worry about it all those 17 years because I had a 25-year transferable warranty. When my neighbors were having to have siding put on or their house repainted, I was in the clear. It goes on just about everything, but unpainted brick and steel and aluminum and all those great things. Here's the key point for you. They're going to start doing applications again. It's getting warmer. Usually they start in March anyway. You need to get your name on the schedule, and you start by calling this number, 877-25-RHINO. That gets you a hold of my friend Darren. He will come over and do a free evaluation of your home, show you before and after pictures, and tell you all the great things Rhino Shield can do. It is beautifully durable. Go online today at 877-25RHINO.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis roofing, siding, and gutter systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back. I brought this up the other day because I think maybe it's one of the most underreported stories in America. There's a lot going on right now. Let's just admit that. But I think one of the most underreported stories in America is that we're about to go back to the moon. I think they're going to give us an update. I think I read today or soon on when that rocket might take off. And I think it's on the launch pad down there already in Florida. And we just haven't really been talking all that much about it. We do have Steve Yates with us this morning. He's a national security expert and a China expert as well with the Heritage Foundation. And Steve has recently written an opinion piece on this whole thing. Steve, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thanks very much. Great to be with you.
Absolutely. So the space program, a missed opportunity here. I mean, NASA's kind of disappeared into the woodwork, it seems, in the past 25 years, in my opinion, in a lot of ways.
Well, I do think there's been a missed opportunity. Now, I completely respect the astronauts and the engineers that are doing a lot of hard work, but we're sort of taking an old school government first approach to what now is a private sector, public sector partnership that needs to keep pace and beat the Chinese competitors, not just back to the moon, we've been there, but to be able to stay. There's so many communications, national defense, resource consequences to this that just haven't factored into the equation. We just shouldn't be using 40-year-old technology to win the future in this regard. And that's why I think we can look with awe at astronauts getting back out there on the Artemis system. But I think we need to have new systems that will keep pace on costs and cadence and the capacity to be out there and win.
Steve, I do have to address something. You said back to the moon, which of course would infer that we've been to the moon. I would agree with you. Mark would agree with you, but we have a good time on the show debating if it ever really happened because Ethan, our producer, says no. What's your argument about why it happened?
Well, I have to say, my personal skin in the game is that my granny was the first deaf and blind interpreter for the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., and so I was raised in this, maybe brainwashed by some people's point of view, but I think we did it, and I think we're going to get back, and I think this time we're going to win if we shift these gears. That's where I think Congress needs to step in.
Yeah, you point out in this article that the communist approach has always been the Chinese approach, I should say, Chinese communist approach, has always sort of been a long game. They're not looking out 5 or 10 years. They're looking out 100 years and how their approach to things are. They don't approach, you say, space exploration as a series of prestige missions, which is how the U.S. has always sort of treated it, right?
Right. I think we just haven't really had a lot of public education on the fact that the moon as an operating base isn't just fantasy kind of talk these days. There are important resources that are there, but Elon Musk has talked in some cases about the consequences of having broad solar energy harvested under that kind of environment.
Wow.
We basically can run data centers in space that would alleviate the energy grid demand here on the planet. These are ways that you leapfrog ahead of the competition. But what we can't have is the Communist Party of China setting the standards. We've debated this on artificial intelligence. We shouldn't be really having a different conversation about space.
Wow. And when you talk about the platforms that we're using, are you talking about the difference between what SpaceX is, their technology, and what NASA's still relying on?
Right. Well, the fundamental issue is the current system, the space launch system, costs about $4 billion each time it launches, and it doesn't launch very frequently. And if you have reusable and more frequent suppliers, then you're going to learn with iteration, just repeating over and over. And to sustain operations out in space, on the moon and beyond, you're just going to have that cadence and be able to have the capacity to carry things up there. And $4 billion a shot with delays just is not going to win.
No, I can see that argument completely. One thing you pointed out in here, after more than 13 years of development and $64 billion in expenditures, it has only flown once, and Artemis 2 would be only the second time in 13 years.
Yeah, and the Chinese are not going to match that pace. They will exceed that pace.
Oh, sure.
And they're doing everything to copy and acquire what SpaceX is doing with reusable platforms. And so this, again, I have full respect for the heroes that work in these programs. Sure. I want to equip them with the best technology and the best chance at success. I believe in Team America, but Team America is going to have to team up with private sector America if we're really going to do this right.
Is China really the only country we'd have to worry about as far as beating us to the punch? Or are there any other countries that even come close to the technology and all the, kind of the race to be able to do some of this stuff?
Well, for sure there will be other competitors that we'll have to keep an eye on, but there's no other peer out there that has the scale and the investment. And China takes kind of a whole-of-government approach to these kinds of things. There's no public-private sector distinction in China, and they can expropriate whatever resources they want. If it's too expensive, their people don't get a vote. And they can also have a long track record of sending scientists everywhere to take technology in order to get ahead. We try to do things right. So in some ways, that's really our only peer competitor, and they're the ones that want to put a stamp on standards that really wouldn't match with our values and, frankly, what the values of the future of American or global technology ought to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not going to ask you an AOC-type question about Taiwan, but strategically, can we agree that China is the biggest challenger and threat? I mean, I know their economy is not doing great right now, but they've got to have challenges when it comes to energy production now that we've cut off the spigot from Venezuela. I mean, what's that geopolitical situation at this point?
Well, certainly the geopolitics of China are shifting. That's one thing I would give President Trump an immense amount of credit for. A lot of times when people look at U.S.-China relations, they just think about bilateral or direct negotiations. He's sort of setting the table around China in ways that favor America and favor our options and work to minimize their leverage. And it's a work in progress, but he's doing more than any of his predecessors in my estimation. And so whether it's Iran, Venezuela, doing other kinds of efforts to make America more independent and resilient, making our allies step up and do more and have independent capability. All this makes our options safer with China. And so it gives President a better hand when he visits at the end of March to have an important conversation.
How big of a chess move was it to ink that trade deal with India? That had to be talked about a lot in Beijing, I would imagine.
I think it's very important, but frankly, I think it's also very, very important with Japan and with Taiwan. And people forget Taiwan's the fourth largest trading partner of the United States.
Wow.
And it's ground zero for semiconductors, but 50% of global container shipping goes around Taiwan. So peace and security and having a stable economic relationship there matters a great deal. India is a big, big plus for sure, too.
Wow. All things I think that the average person just doesn't think about regularly, which is I love your expertise on this issue. I got to admit, because I don't think most Americans perceive that issue with China. They don't perceive that to be a threat to. I mean, if they had it their way, their currency would be the world currency. Correct?
Correct. But even worse, we're having a debate today about whether advanced artificial intelligence could be used by the Pentagon or others to surveil Americans. In China, they don't have that question because they know they are comprehensively surveilled by their government and they have no say. We at least have a debate and we have oversight and we have pushback. So we definitely have a race for who's going to kind of code the DNA of the technology that runs our lives. That, I think, is the great game of our century.
Wow. Steve Yates, we appreciate your thoughts today on that, and I direct people to the Washington Times if they want to read more with your thoughts on the space situation as well. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you now. Yeah, he's got an editorial in the Washington Times regarding the race for space and the fact that China is trying to wrap its arms around the moon before we can get back up there, Ethan.
But now, in Ethan's defense, you do have people writing in on social media.
I know.
Richie says, "I got your back, Ethan."
How about John?
And John says the moon landing happened.
But he believes the astronauts found things that needed to be classified, and for that reason, some of the moon landing was fabricated.
So what would they have found?
Aliens. A little green men.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm just speculating.
E.T. phone home.
Why is it going to cost billions of dollars to go back? Can't we just use the old tech? I mean, it worked, right?
What are you talking about?
He said it costs $1 billion to launch each rocket, right?
Well, I mean,
why don't we use the old tech?
Houses cost $15 and $15,000 in 1960, and they don't anymore. So everything's more expensive.
Was it that much money to send Gayle King up to space?
Well, that was for free, wasn't it?
Didn't
you do that for free?
Well, she got it for free, but it still cost to go up. It's not like the trip itself was free. She just didn't pay anything out of pocket. But she is an astronaut. She did get that title, so that is priceless.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here. We've still got our Queen of Hearts drawing. I put it off a segment there, so we'll get to it when we come back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looking good on the roads. Now, there was a stall northbound 55 at 44, but they moved that one off to the shoulder. Just a little bit of moderate volume. 6440 in both directions at Big Bend, and southbound 170 ramping on to eastbound 64. There's also some moderate volume on 44 westbound as you head toward Shrewsbury, and that, of course, is due to road work. Same thing, 55 a little slow at the Weber Road overpass. And if you're headed in from Illinois, we look great on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. on 97.1 FM Talk. This report is brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. That's it. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Well, I know that most of us know to save for retirement because we do that. And that's great. And that's a good thing. But when you get closer to it, you start to realize, you know what? I'm not sure that saving is enough. Do I have a plan? I am a person who likes to have a plan, right? I want to know, okay, here's what's going to happen. Here's how we've got it mapped out so that at the end, things will be fine. And that's what you're looking for, really, in general, peace of mind about retirement. So financial and tax architects were founded for this reason. They help people understand how money works in retirement. And also they will sit down with you and come up with a plan based on your income, based on Social Security, based on your goals. So first, go to a class. They put it on. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's free, but it fills up quickly. It's only one night for 90 minutes. You have to register. Call 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101, and start there. Get a handle on retirement.
It's fish fry season on the Mark Reardon Show, and we're inviting you to join us this week. We'll be in Cottleville at the Knights of Columbus. So if that's your neck of the woods, grab a meal and say hello. Fish Fry Fridays on the Mark Reardon Show, sponsored by Apache Village RV.
I got you something extra special for Valentine's Day.
Yeah?
How does a blow-and-go sound?
I like it.
Great. Air Comfort Service will be here on Monday.
Wait, what?
Our attic insulation is in bad shape. Air Comfort Service heating and cooling and insulation can top off our insulation with blow-and-go and make our home more energy efficient. We can save up to 30% on our energy bills.
I love it when you talk savings to me.
Schedule your blow-and-go attic installation from Air Comfort Service. Visit aircomfortservice.com/blow today.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative. Guns N' Hoses Queen of Hearts, benefiting the St. Louis Backstoppers.
Love it. Hopefully you have bought your cards by now, $5 a piece, or you buy 5 and you get 1 free for the Queen of Hearts raffle. They make the drawing every Friday morning and is the exclusive radio partner of Guns N' Hoses. We get to announce it. Congratulations. The winner today, they drew in slot number 40 the 6 of diamonds, and that means the winner is going to take $25 away on that $5 bet. Congratulations. Now, the jackpot is projected to be over $12,500 for the next drawing. That'll be March 6th. If you draw the Queen of Hearts, you get half of it, and then half of it goes to our friends at Backstoppers. So it's a 50-50 drawing, and you just go to stlgunsandhoses.com to buy your tickets today. Happy that we can play some role in that. Aren't you, Kim?
That's a great organization.
It is. It is. You know what people have been stuck on all morning? The boys' kibble thing all morning.
Your friends?
I've been getting texts. I've been getting emails. John emailed me earlier that says, my son's been getting in great shape eating the rice, the ground beef. He uses ground deer meat and a couple of eggs. Throw in a little Cholula on top of that, and it's pretty darn good. So
I will say, I feel like that combo, you can change it up enough where it feels like a different meal each time you're having it. Like you know what's a really good combo actually is sriracha with a little bit of mayonnaise, and you put that on rice with some eggs. Oh, it's so good.
Wow. And it's really easy to cook.
But could you use mayonnaise if you were like doing it for the weight loss angle of it? You probably wouldn't want to put that pure fat on there, would you?
You're also eating rice.
Well,
which is very carb heavy. But if you're not eating gobs of rice and then a tiny bit of the meat, I think the biggest thing people talk about when they're losing weight is you're actually drinking a lot of water and you're upping your protein.
Right.
So as long as how many of us don't eat enough protein?
And hopefully doing your exercise.
It's like the new big thing.
Right.
I know.
Everybody's got to eat protein.
Oh.
And it's like
Well, we flipped
being
the
forced out
food
now.
pyramid.
But
I
this was
understand
even
that, but
talked
it's
about
just-
before that.
Yeah, it's something big now.
You know what? Starbucks came out with protein you can add to their drinks. I don't know if you can go get a normal
They've got
coffee and
protein
add
water.
protein to it. That sounds disgusting. I'm sure you wouldn't taste it, but that sounds gross.
Well, if it's working. If it works for you, it's working for you. And you're probably getting a shot on top of that. So,
Well, that's
for most
really
people.
what's working because people don't want to actually have to put in the work because it is hard when you're dieting and exercising.
yeah.
But they say abs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah, what's that stuff called? The shot they give you? What's it?
Ozempic?
Ozempic. And when I was in the halls of Congress the other day, and I'm not going to name names, it was pointed out to me that there is one member of Congress. There's one member of Congress that passed by us, and the comment was made that she must be on Ozempic because she's down about 4 dress sizes.
Interesting.
But nothing
Dang.
else has shrunk. So that was the
Well-
interesting comment about that. And I'm not going to say who that was.
Just about every celebrity is on Ozempic. I think I saw Oprah was on Ozempic. Kelly Osbourne and Sharon
She looks so
are.
gross.
I'm sorry, they look like walking skeletons. That's what's really sad is people are taking it too far. I can understand why people might want to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to jumpstart my weight loss," but then at some point, you have to take accountability and you have to change your lifestyle in order for it to be sustainable. Because guess what? If you're taking Ozempic every day, which is that how often you have to shoot yourself with it every day?
I think it's like once a week.
Once a
Okay.
week.
Maybe
Still,
once a month.
as soon as you get off of that, if you've done nothing to change your lifestyle, that weight's just going to come
No,
back.
it
And they
would.
always say,
It would.
they always say, if you lose the weight, assume that you're going to gain all of it back, and then what? An additional 10 pounds?
Well, it's not the magic of the shot that makes you lose the weight. It just eliminates your hunger.
Right.
Like you can forget to eat is basically
Well,
what
that's
it
why
is.
people will take
And, so
not
if you're
Ritalin. What am I thinking of?
doing that and exercising and all of that good
Fentanyl.
stuff.
No,
Fentanyl.
No, I wasn't going that route, Ethan, but I guess you could, do fentanyl. and
Meth?
then you would,
Meth will help you lose some weight
What am I
around here.
thinking of? What a lot of college kids take it.
Speed?
No. This is a common thing that a lot of people take, and they say it helps them to study because they can focus. Not Ritalin.
Zen?
Someone is listening and Adderall. Thank you. Oh
Ah,
my gosh.
ADHD
They say
medicine.
people will take Adderall because it suppresses their appetite, and then I think they can lose weight because they're not thinking about food as much. Because for me personally, for the 4 hours we're on, I'm sitting here thinking, all right, what am I going to have for lunch?
was a long
what am
trip
I
to
going
get
to
there.
have for dinner?
Yeah, that's true. Shoot, that was a long way to get to the fact that we're still hungry. Yeah. By the way, I mentioned this earlier on Tuesday, a great meeting with those folks from Colette Travel because we've got the trip to Switzerland coming up. I got an update today, and the seats are going fast. So if you're interested in going with us, I'm going to suggest you go to the website at 971talk.com/events. Just go to the events tab at the 971talk.com webpage, and you'll see the Travel with Mark. There's a link to the itinerary through Colette Travel. I mean, these trips are great. I'm still good friends with many of the people that have gone before. I think a few of them are going to go with us again to Switzerland September 30th. And we'll be on a luxury bus going all through to Austria and Salzburg and 2 different cities we're going to stay in Switzerland. It's going to be a fantastic trip. But I would encourage you, because now that meeting has taken place, 45 people showed up at the meeting to find out more information. And if all of them sign up, this trip will be full. So we need you to take action, make that an action point today. Go to 971talk.com/events and look up the trip. We'd love for you to go along. It's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait. That's going to be good. All right, well, fun, great day. We've had lots of stuff. We've talked about a lot of great stuff this morning on the show, and not the least of which is Boys Kibble, whatever that is, the TikTok
Try it
trend.
out this weekend. See what you think. Report back Monday. Tell your wife
Rice-
you're going to make
rice and
dinner
meat.
for. Tell Michelle you're going to
There's
make
nothing to
dinner
it.
for her and whip the kibble whatever dish. And
Michelle
see what
is
she
out
thinks.
of town, so
So
all
pot pie
I
it
have to
is.
do is put a chicken pot pie in the microwave, and I'm good to go.
How
Or
many-
go out to my local restaurant.
How many pot pies could you have a week before you'd get sick of it?
Well, the same with the kibble. The same question. How many of those could you eat? You'd get tired of it eventually. Maybe I'll throw a frozen pizza in there in the middle.
Oh
somewhere.
wow!
Kind of get on the live on the
Super
wild
healthy.
side
You're
this
wild,
weekend.
Mark.
All right, have a great weekend. Brian Kilmeade coming up next. We'll see you back here Monday morning starting at 5 a.m.